Well, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. Let me just make sure that everybody is seeing us on the live stream. Yes, 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 yes. All you come, all you come, all you come, all you come. Right. Okay, so we are live, we are live, we are live. Welcome to another episode of the Vstream platform. And if you didn't know, now you know. All right. So, of course, let me first introduce myself for the people who might be just joining for the very first time. Galaxy by far. And of course, well, I started this platform, sort of to basically get an up close and personal interaction with the people that really support us over the years in terms of us being the creators, whether it be creators of music, people into production, the people that really behind the scenes sometimes that we don't really get to connect with and really get to understand the whole process of being a creator, right? In this aspect being the music. All right. So for the past two episodes we had Dynamite, we had Hunter Flo, a very talented producer, of course, and let me mention, right, these creators that we are about to introduce you to are all Vincentian, and this is the place that we're gonna be introducing you to a lot of the creators, right? So tonight we have a very, very, very special show for you tonight. This being the third episode of this podcast, right? Let me just invite everybody to go ahead and share the live tonight, all right? So we're going to be talking with a great musician, producer, and he's also a certified audio engineer. I have tonight the one and only Mr. Kevin Sardine. We know him as Shady. He is going to be with us tonight. So if you have anything that you want to ask the man himself, he's been a certified engineer for a while now, and a musician. He's been formerly a part of the band Signal. So for the Signal fans of them, we have one of the former members inside tonight. And as you can hear bouncing in the background is Lucha, the crowd motivator. Actually, our guest is the producer of this song that we're playing in the background here. But what we're gonna do first of all, before we start it officially, and before we bring in our guests, let me just get you familiar with some of the music that you might have known. Before I introduce the man behind the music, right? Some of the music that I'm gonna play right now was produced by this particular guest that I have coming on. All right, so let me get it in, let me get the vibes up. Grab a drink, grab some snacks. Text your friend, let them know. Vstream platform episode 3. It's starting right now. Let me go.
Well, when we talk about girl, we mean more girl, enough girl, plenty girl, shell alone a girl, word a girl. You see the man, them who have more than one girl. I want to see them at the ear and the ear. Yeah. Well, in the days of old, when men were brave and bold, the girl them never come, she them stay in and them hole. But while the men them sleep, and time began to creep, surprised to see how many young girl like me out the street. Roll, girl them a multiply, while the men them fight and buy. There's so many lonely girl, why so much a funny guy? Oh, I ask the question why? Oh, what's the start on me? I the amount of girl, all the men them start to yell. More girl ratio is 10 to 1. That's why I have to have more girl. Jump up and raise your hand. All the man them who have more girl, black, white or Indian, Chinese, Syrian, we have more girl, more girl, more girl. Yeah, man. It's all about the English girl them, Canadian girl them, Yankee girl them. What about the French girl, Chinese girl, Puerto Rican girl, Salmon girl? Well, if you have one girl and then she leave your home, chances are you might just end up drinking gramophone. But if you have a lead and you can get them cheap, as one gone and next one
somebody to tell me what year this one came out. What year this one came out, if you can remember.
More girl, reach you 10 to 1. That's why I have to have more girl. Jump up and raise your hand. All the man them to have more girl. Black, white, and Indian. Chinese, Iran, we have more girl. More girl, more girl. Well, it's all about the rags and flags that have the whole Caribbean waving. And New York, Miami, England, and Canada craving. When we got picked it up there. Whoa, whoa. Everybody, put up your flags and all your arms in the air. Well, it's all about the rags and flags that have the whole Caribbean waving. And New York, Miami, England, and Canada craving. When we got picked it up there. Whoa, whoa. Everybody, put up your flags and all your arms in the air. In the air. Why let me say, all of the girls them with the sexy body. Girls, stand now. All the girls them who want meet us. On the road them girls they a greet us. But we know you're not national beat us. Jump around and pick up the status. Then girls them walk on status. Some boy you try and irate us. Imitate us, mutilate us, alternate us, participate us. And when they say to put your hand in the air, how are you jump up and down like you just don't care? How we all of me girls in the day? Put up your hand in the air. Everybody, put up your flags and rock them up in the air. In the air. Right, let me say, all of the girls them with the sexy body. Wow, wow.
Yo. Right now, somebody go and text your friend. Make sure you go and forward the link, forward the live. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube as well. All right, welcome to Vstream platform, where we get up close, we get to know the people behind the music, behind the creativity. And tonight, we got a producer with us. You know what I mean? I just played two big songs that all you should know them. Right? But I want to surprise him right now. Right? I want to surprise him. I wonder if he remember them song here when I'm playing now. Let me see. Let me see if he gonna remember these.
Everybody ramming, the white jeans them coming, and all the dance ramming. Foreigners them coming, and low Muslim coming, because it's Juve morning. Well, one thing about Juve, hope you understand. Make sure you have a little something in your hand, a rag, a flag, or even a pan. But leave home the weapon, all of the name Juve, who they, boy you better move they. Loving, and we never fight it. The peace them so sweet, I tell you it's so sweet. Hurry from and slim on the Mark Street. Every morning, I will sing the something sounding like Juve inside it. Memories. Yo, how we go? Jump, everybody. Jump, we jump. Hey, give me some run now. Jump. On the back street we jamming and everybody flamming. The white tees them calling and all the dancing ramming. Foreigners them coming and low still coming, because it's Juve morning. Well, one thing about Juve, hope you understand. Make sure you have a little something in your hand, a rag, a flag, or even a pan. But leave home the weapon, all of the name Juve, who they, boy you better move they. Loving, and we never fight it. The peace them so sweet, I tell you it's so sweet. Hurry from and slim on the Mark Street. Every morning,
person to tell me what year this one came out, eh? First person to tell me. Let me see who bad. Let me see who bad. Let me see who remember you.
Wine, girl, wine. Roll, girl, roll. Wine, girl, wine. Roll, girl, roll. So forget wine, me say must get wine. Girl, forget wine, bacchanal wine. Who forget wine, me say must get wine. And me don't give a dime, no time. Who forget wine, me say must get wine. Girl, forget wine, bacchanal wine. Who forget wine, me say must get wine. And me don't give a dime. Girl, a wine up herself like a machine from singer. Way how she dress off me head all a spinner. Bending up herself like a KFC singer. Lord my God, when she put herself in her. Put on me saddle on me hand, go she good. Scream like no movie we make a Hollywood. She run go tell the people them in the neighborhood that the other fella wicked and dreadful. Wine, girl, wine. Roll, girl, roll. Wine, girl, wine. Roll, girl, roll. So forget wine, me say must get wine. Girl, forget wine, bacchanal wine. Who forget wine, me say must get wine. And me don't give a girl.
Hey girl, you know, it's been a while now since I've been asking you this question.
I remember seeing him in Raga Soca with this one here.
If you ever gonna
Raga Soca competition.
Let me show you now that I'm the one for you. One chance, and I'll do for you just what you want me to. One chance, I'm ready, I'm just waiting for your cue. One chance, I'm waiting, girl. It may seem as though I'm a stalker, but it's this feeling that is deep down in my soul. From ever since that day you moved around my way, something's telling me that you should be my girl. Baby, are you gonna give me? Tell me, are you gonna give me? Are you gonna give it to me, girl? I wanna know. Are you gonna give me? Are you gonna give me? Are you gonna give it to me, girl? Let me show you now that I'm the one for you. And I'll do for you just what you want me to. I'm ready, I'm just waiting for your cue. I'm waiting.
Line up the girl them. Line up behind them. Shine up the girl them. Awesome, this is just awesome. Luther, James, if it told you, when we get the girl them, what we have to do?
Y'all remember this for sure though. Y'all know this one for sure.
Line up behind them. Shine up the girl them. Shine up behind them. Line up the girl them. Line up.
I'm gonna bring him in after this one, right?
Line up the girl them. Line up behind them.
I love the way you move, keep your waistline turning. You put me in the mood, so come closer, darling. Come on, girl, roll, keep the fire burning. I'll take you home for some tender loving.
So me go so now.
Set my soul on fire. You are my one desire. You wanna come up higher. Girl, go down. Give me the sexual healing. And with a special feeling. Baby, I'm a feeling. Girl, go down. I saw me go so now. Wine go down. Show me emotion. Go down. Give me some action. Girl, go down. Show me emotion. Girl, go down. Show me emotion. Wine and go down. Give me some action. Girl, go down.
Awesome, this is just awesome. Awesome, this is just awesome. Luther, James, if it told you, when we get the girl them, what we have to do? Line up the girl them. Line up behind them. Shine up the girl them. Line up behind them. Line up the girl 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 them.
Line them up. Yes, so right now, we're about to get into it, you know. All right, so the people in the chat right now, give me some fire, give me some emojis. Let me know that you're locked in. Let me know that you're in on the Vstream platform right now. Yes, indeed. I'm going to welcome a very special guest without further ado, all right, top musician, one of our very own music producers, and of course, now a certified engineer. Let me welcome the man himself, the man of the moment, Mr. Kevin Sardine. Let me call you by your government name first.
Boy, you give it
Welcome,
boy.
Shady. What's going on, bro?
Boy. And the office here, boy. You don't know what it is already.
Well, you don't see how the settings there already, you know, boy. This is how it is, you know.
Yeah, we're beating work all the time. Boy, I had to call you a musical archaeologist, boy. Cause you
I had to dig up, boy. I had to really go dig in today, boy.
you put up some files. I forget all of them things. That back sheet with them and one chance that Cherryans did, boy.
I know you would have forget, I know.
I totally forget what them two tracks there, boy. Wait.
Remember the day you invited me up by the studio? I think Allergy was the one that took me there up by Junior. He was working on the same rhythm, the Juvie rhythm there.
The back sheet, right?
Yes, that was the rhythm.
Yeah, that back sheet rhythm there. Boy, I don't know that was interesting, eh? But first of all, I do pay my respects to Junior Sutherland, right?
Yeah.
For giving me actually the opportunity to mess around in a studio at free will, not
right.
power to break something. You know,
real.
Big up to Junior for the opportunity, man. But yeah, man, them days was S2000, Akai S2000 sampler and all kind of craziness, finding hand samples and
box
loops and you know what I mean? It was dropping them thing in and wherever you like you keep, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, let me get into it. I mean, where did it start for Shady? I mean, well, we're gonna tell them when you get the name, because it wasn't Shady yet.
Yo.
You know, I was fortunate to be around at the time when you got the name because
boy, that
you know.
I couldn't even rub it off, yes?
You couldn't rub it off, boy. You couldn't do nothing. You had to just accept it.
Yeah, well, I mean, name-wise, everybody who ain't know me by my government name would know me as Alan.
Alan, right. Yeah, that's what.
Right, and then you know afterwards when the transformation, the image.
Let me just let them know. I mean, I can tell you the first time I experienced the shady image, right? At that time, Eminem just come out.
Boy, yeah.
You know what I mean? And Eminem had the blonde hair, the color and thing now. So I was somewhere the other I was, boy, and I see it. That man looked just like Eminem, boy. I say, yo, that's Eminem, man. Yo, I'm from that.
Yo, I remember that real like it was yesterday actually. I mean, I was always a risk taker.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, still I'm musically, you know, while everybody trying to walk in the safe zone and in the box. I just like to step lines, go out of the boundaries, you know what I mean? To see what exists out there, what could be had out there, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, with that image, I mean, I was like, yo, entertainers ain't supposed to look regular, Jed. You know what I mean? I said, nah, dog. I said, I had to do something drastic. But at the point in time, I wasn't into hip hop. I wasn't into rap, you know, that kind of mainstream stuff. So I everybody calling me Slim Shady. I say, yo, who the Slim Shady is people talking about, yo? Not. So I started going research now, you know what I mean? Well, I mean, back then YouTube wasn't even,
YouTube wasn't nowhere there yet. Bro, we barely had internet, bro. Like,
well, radio and internet, yeah.
Right, so
dial-up modem and them things.
yeah. So we had the TV and cable to really, introduce us to the famous entertainers and them, no.
BET and all them.
Yeah.
So I look at this man. This time is with the real Slim Shady. Please stand up, please.
Yeah.
I think that song was big back then, right? I mean, still big, but
I ain't think that came out. That didn't come out yet.
You sure?
Yeah, that song wasn't out yet. I can remember because I remember very well that the first time I saw you, like experience seeing you in person.
Uh,
I don't even believe you remember that, bro. Like,
bro.
I think it was your grandma. Somebody was invigilator in grammar school at the time for CXC.
Well, yeah, that definitely would have been correct.
Right, and a day she couldn't make it, and she sent you.
Right, I had to invigilate. Yeah,
Right, so I was at the time doing exams,
better
and
than you being. I would have never know that. Yes.
yeah, bro. So I remember that very, very, very clearly
But
that day.
you making me sound like a dinosaur, there, boy.
Nah, it ain't that, bro. Like, I like to go from the start. You know what I mean? Because
Nah, yeah, definitely,
people that don't know where the journey start, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
People that
man.
don't know.
But yeah, again, back to that image thing. I mean, so I went and you see, this is the next thing again because I had the blonde look and then I had the dreads kind of look.
Right.
Um,
The
so,
dreads they come later, man. The
right,
dread-
dreads did come after for real.
yeah, the dreads did come later.
But yeah, I did this thing and everybody started coming. So I said, dude, I don't look nothing like this one. I mean, I could understand why they would say that because definitely the hairstyle. I said, but this man
Yeah.
had blue eyes pretty much. But obviously it wasn't. It was. I mean, come on, it wasn't the eyes. Nobody's studying that. Everybody's studying your
Yeah.
head bleach out. You know what I mean? So that's what we're dealing with. That's why we're calling it so. But yeah, I mean, and then the name just stuck. Slim Shady. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I can't rub it off, so you gotta stay there.
But let me ask you though, at any point at all you was like upset about people calling you that? Because
I initial it was an irritation for sure.
yeah, I could have see it. I could have see it.
Because
It's like
I mean, if you want to talk about, dude, if you want to talk about that, we could get to that part. But yeah, it was a bit of an irritation. But after a while, I was like, well, dude, you have to understand a bigger monster, a mega superstar
yeah,
rap have this image. So if you employ that kind of image, you had to expect the label,
you
right?
had to.
I just had to come to terms with it, which is why I moved from that kind of look to
Right.
the right. Yeah, and I was like, okay, nobody ever really see anybody with my kind of hair texture. I mean, obviously I don't know no longer anymore, but nobody never see in that kind of time is like nobody ever see people with a hair texture trying to do dreads and thing.
Exactly.
You might find it now because image and looks and them kind of things, cultures diverse enough now where what I'm saying, people could do
Right.
that. Like, oh yeah, well that's the norm, you know what I mean? But yeah, it moved from the blonde to the dreads, and then I started to do the braids, and then the Sean Paul label come into play.
Right. Right. Because
Right?
at one point, even with this flyer that I put up to promote tonight, somebody asked me, "Wait, is Sean Paul hat tonight?" Somebody asked me.
The same thing. I said, like, well,
I said, "But wait, in truth, the man look like Sean Paul on the flyer." No?
yeah,
I
Dan,
say,
and I tell you, it's like I just couldn't catch a break. It's like anyhow I turn, I look like a image, dog.
yeah, boy, somebody.
Yeah. So I was like, yo, and then when I cut the dreads now, I see Sean Paul with this mohawk thing. I was like, well, yeah, again now. It's a lucky thing I didn't go for a mohawk look.
Was
Yeah, but yeah, it definitely was a evolution when it comes to the stages of the image. Along
for real. For real. Well, you of course well known keyboardist for a number of years.
Yeah, man.
You've worked along with Signal. We know you're from Signal days.
Yeah, definitely.
Tell us how did that come about? I guess
Well,
that was your first experience with a band, a live band.
yeah, a band of that caliber, definitely. Prior to that, I mean, for people of that era, that my
Hmm.
whole band existed and functioned in, I have to pay respects to the late great Roland Sardine,
Yeah.
which is pretty much talent-wise where I followed in. The footsteps I followed in, right, was in the person of Roland Sardine.
Right.
I started out doing music under him because he had a band. He actually trained and tutored a lot of known musicians again in his era,
Right.
and came out of his band. People from the likes of, you're talking about Plumey, Lewis, bass, Vincent Chan bass player,
Okay.
Al Wilson, Vincent Chan guitar player, Eldon Jack would have played in my dad's band. Fast forward to people like Cahelia Beach, right, would have been a member of my dad's band at some point in time.
Right.
Doing a lot of the Grenadine hotel gigs and stuff like that. I mean, you name it. I think for a short spell of time to people like Chanel Mackenzie and, all these kind of people. So it's like, when it came to contributions to the island musically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was one of, I mean, you had to give shine light on people like Frankie Mac and all of these greats as well too.
All the time. All the time.
It started there, and then after a while, I think I was about 19, and we had a falling out. We couldn't really see eye to eye because I wanted to do what I wanted to do creatively, and he really wanted me to stick under his wing. Right?
All right.
It really didn't work out well because for I think about a period of 3 years, unfortunately, we was just like, A and B. I mean, direction wise.
Right.
And then I can't remember how I got into Signal, honestly, right? I don't even know if people like Luther, if you're watching this, if you would be watching this in future, could shed some light on that if you ever have him on the show, in future.
Yeah, definitely going to ask him that.
But yeah, he would probably be able to shed some light on that if he could remember. But yeah, I found myself as a part of Signal, working among people like Abby, James. At the time, you had Tafa, the drummer, who else? Harton, Macri guitar player.
Right.
Yeah, and I think at that point in time, we used to swap between one keyboard player, two keyboard players. People like Nolan Boss,
Yeah.
at one point was working alongside me as well to in Signal. But the experience overall is actually the first band that I toured outside of St. Vincent with.
Facts.
To New York. We did Canada as well while I was in the band. We did St. Lucia. My God, honestly, my memory, the amount of stuff that I've been involved in.
This is early 2000.
Yeah.
Up there.
One instance I remember with Signal that would never ever be wiped from my memory, Jed, unless God forbid, I have a stroke.
We hear it.
it's like September 11th, 2001. Yeah, Jed. We actually got stuck in New York when the whole episode happened with the trade centers. We had a show in Montreal to do with Talpree, and we drove to Montreal. We came back in the Sunday, and we planned to visit the trade centers that same Tuesday morning, right?
Right.
But remember vividly, it was me, Fireman, the bassman for Signal, and DJ Taurus in our basement. And we wake up the morning, Taurus is like, dude, I'll see what's going on here. This time the promoter gave you a little black and white TV with the tab on them, right?
Right.
I said, wait, what's going on? A 4 big man chuck up in our basement with this little TV. this ain't good enough. So, I look, Taurus said, yo, King, I'll see what's going on here. So this time when we come out, he said, yo, there's no fly a plane in the trade center. So he said,
wow.
Taurus, really saying? Because we know Taurus used to like talk nonsense.
Yeah.
He said, nah, you know what you're saying. So when you come around now, you're watching this thing, watching the buildings and smoking and stuff like that. It's like, yo, this thing is a movie. It's really happening.
Actually happening.
Yeah, Dan. So it was very, very frightening because at the point in time, later on that day, you come outside and you look out in the distance from where we were staying, and all you're seeing is gloom in the atmosphere, and then FC all over the place in the sky. We opposite a police precinct, the US flag at half mast is so. I was like, yo, dog, this thing really happening for you? It's just no joke thing.
And for you to be there at the time it happening, boy.
Yeah. We were scheduled to leave the Thursday, and we couldn't leave. All the flights were grounded. When we actually got out on standby was, I think, the following Tuesday. Iowa Judge, a whole set of people that came up for the Labor Day festivities end up at the airport trying to get on the flight to go down. And it's like, boy, I say, wait, it's just so I can't see a fall or a coconut tree again in my life. Because,
Wow.
yeah, man. So, that was it was a very exciting and then turned out to be a very real worrying experience that particular year with that tour. But yeah, man, all in all, with Signal adding to the journey, it was a good stint. There was a point in time to where I shared stages with Hudson.
Yeah.
There was a season where I think they were shouting some musicians, however the case is, and I think Guinness had Power Jams. Hyrule had something that they had to. I think it was a road show that they used to have, and there was a specific night. I remember I had to actually have 2 different band uniforms in my backpack.
I remember that, I remember that very well.
Don't know why get you on the next band uniform.
Oh.
Yeah, man, it was crazy back in them times, man. Them times we used to actually have to play, you know what I'm saying? It's not
Yeah.
Ableton kind of vibes.
They did not know sampling yet. Sampling was nothing yet.
Well, to a small extent, MPCs was around, but
But it was more like for mostly drums used to be
yeah,
and percussion and so, yeah, right.
I spent a small portion of time in the Virgin Islands where they were big fans of MPCs. They used to sample different sounds from different machines and stuff like that and compile them into one machine and have the best of all worlds pretty much, right? And the way they used to design beats with melodies and all this kind of stuff like that programming, I was very interesting. And so when I came back to St. Vincent, I started to incorporate some of that into what I was doing. And at the time, again, I have to say big up to people like Agent Bailey as well.
Yep.
Because I didn't own an MPC. Agent Bailey and they had one, was actually in Agent's studio, just resting in a corner and not doing nothing. I think Brian Alexander, I think he was the first one.
I think Brian had one. And Adrian, I remember having one because the first time I went to the studio, he had one.
Right. So I think
Junior did get one too.
Yeah. Of
right.
Course, they definitely get one. But anyway, so the whole MPC sampling era, I actually asked Agent to borrow the machine to actually do gigs with my old man band at the time.
Okay.
And I started to mess with it. And I did some rhythm programming and took the machine back up by him and we hooked it up and then he's like, all right, let me hear what you have or whatever the case will be. So, when he actually heard what the machine was doing, he was like, nah, boy. So then they had gigs and stuff like that. He had carried me on one gig and he's like, yo, we have like a jam break in this section.
Right.
That he say, oh, I punch in the beat and thing. And when Johnny take a break and he do anything. So, that whole era with MPCs and rhythm programming, at one point in time, a lot of people used to bring MPCs to me to either modify. I think even Mark Cyrus at one point in time, we had a show and I had to borrow some RAM from out of Mark machine. Yo, Mark dig real hard. Mark said, dog, I really do why you mess up this thing. Said,
right.
This is my specialty. I ain't gonna mess it up. So he had lent me some RAM to do Clash of the Bands. Right? And I think Signal actually won Clash of the Bands that year. When I was actually a member.
Right.
Is a very interesting era with the technological aspect of things where sampling is concerned, from MPCs to now where we have one laptop and an interface, a multi-out interface where you could just plug up.
Yeah.
Whether it's your music you're playing where you have stems for or you have contacts to producers for the cover songs that you're playing to actually get these files from these people. You organize your set in such a way, however you want to arrange it. And boom, you hit play and you create a whole show from.
So really and truly, we could say that you was the man that actually now encourage it, bringing the MPC from out of the studio
to the stage.
Onto the stage.
I hate to toot my own horn, but
it is what it is. I mean, come on.
I remember one instant, Agent was digging a pile with the MPC vibe day. When Signal was, I actually had it using with Signal already, right?
Right.
Because at the time when I got into Signal, I made them invest in one, and we started using it. And so I asked Agent, I was like, but bro, all you have all your own day, and he's still using R8 and them kind of vibes.
Yeah.
The whole thing was that at the time, that particular series of MPCs did not have a foot pedal option where you had the foot pedal to start stop.
Right.
And in bands at that point in time, the most of the time is the keyboard player that actually operate the machines, and to start stop you would have to use a foot pedal, right, to make it convenient to keep your two hands free, right? And it didn't have the option at the point in time, and he was like, nah dude, I ain't really comfortable with the whole start stop with hand thing to go back to play.
Right.
So, all right, but I mean that to me that seemed to be, not enough of a reason to doubt using the machine over every other pro that it would have, if you actually implement it in the workflow. So, and then after a while, they brought it in where they had, I think, the XL, and then the 1000, the 2500, and all these other
Right.
stuff came out with, foot switch options and stuff like that. But I think he started using the machine even before those series came about. So
Right.
eventually warmed up to it. But I was actually, again, getting back to taking risks, I'm saying, it's like, okay, I don't mind being the first to do it.
Now, but I remember for the times I experienced with working with Adrian, Hudson and thing.
Yeah.
I remember him using that machine very, very well in terms of transition and everything.
Yeah.
And it was a vibe, so we had to say thanks to things like that, evolution of equipment and everything, so
Yeah, man.
until now that we could have computerized thing now with Ableton and them things now they live. I can't remember what year, if you can remember which year that we started actually using Ableton, because I think first time, because we started to see people like Marshall and them using it, when they came here.
I see you using Ableton first when I was in St. Lucia to do remixes and well, actually I think before you went there, Ableton.
Yeah, before I went, I Scratch Master introduced me to it.
Yeah.
Which a guy named Lyndon in Trinidad introduced him to it.
Man, I know Lyndon.
Right.
Fucking Caribbean Vision with Cortalin.
Right. So he introduced me to it, and the first time I saw what it could do, I started to show everybody it. So
Yeah.
but let me talk about the transition from being just a keyboardist musician into becoming now the producer now. Because you've definitely produced a couple hits well in the earlys. Gal Go Down, with Luther, James EP, Tony Prescott. That was like the big one. The first big one.
Yeah, well, the other productions that you played, like More Gal, Everybody.
More Gal and Everybody for Luther, right?
Right. The musical concept, right? I actually started on one of them card Triton keyboards. At the time, Signal had just got it, and I wasn't introduced to doing a studio at that point in time as yet.
Okay.
So all I really had to mess around with was the technology that that there wasn't
Right.
we had. So
you didn't know the software as yet.
right, I didn't know like Cubase.
Cubase and right.
At that time, Junior was still using Cakewalk, so I wasn't
Right.
so I had to use what I had at the time, floppy disk and the sequence and the keyboard. And I did two. More Gal was one. Everybody was on next. More Gal was actually completed by Adrian because we did the vocal recording there, right?
Right.
I think some minor arrangements, but what you hear in terms of bass, the lines, all this kind of stuff like that is definitely my idea. That came from what I created in the Triton.
Okay.
Everybody was, I think that was Wayne here in New York. Wayne Walker, I think his name is. I don't want to quote a wrong name, but I think that's the name, right? But anyway, again, same thing. Did the idea, brought it to New York, lay it out, and this is the first time I came to a studio with, like, I wouldn't say a large format console, but it was definitely bigger than what I was accustomed to. And this was a setup where you had a whole rack behind you with
Yeah, boy.
a whole bunch of compressors. So you could add one compressor on every drum track you want, because you get like racks of them thing in the back, song modules and stuff. So, came up, we laid the vocals for everybody. I think that year, I can't remember if we released it the year after, something like that, because the original bass that I had, I think the owners of Signal changed the bass pattern.
Okay.
Because at that point in time, again, I just starting out, you know what I'm saying? It's just ideas. So
Right.
I jumped the gun. I wasn't really happy with it, but if the owners wanted so, then we had to put it so. You know what I mean?
Because before you came, it would have been where, the songwriting process would have been all the musicians, get a
Right,
hand into it.
right. And I think it was still somewhat of the same, but I think for the most part, everybody was kind of happy with the code I created and stuff like that. Just decided to go with that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, those particular ones were collabs. The Gal Go Down was definitely produced by me when I was affiliated with JR Music Studios, Junior Solo.
Right, Junior.
Yeah, right. So even like the back end vocals for Gal Go Down, the back end vocals for More Gal. My vocals fused behind there as well too. It was like me, Luther. I can't remember if Agent did backups on More Gal. Probably not. But yeah, all facets of the production, because I do a bit of singing as well too. So,
Right.
I'm able to do the harmonies if need be in the back to color it if the producer wanted so, or whatever the case was. If I decide I'm producing it and I want my color on it, then fine. But yeah, those Gal Go Down, I mean, for me, that was like the first big deal for me.
For real, for real.
I
mean, I was blown away by the actual overall song, the quality. It was like a different vibe that we ever heard.
Back then, I mean, Pablo is the one that actually mixed Gal Go Down.
I remember Pablo was the one working on that.
Yeah, he was
that song.
That one. So yeah, I mean, at the point in time, it was definitely compared to the Backstreet Rhythm, which again I did by Junior. I can't remember who did back vocals on that. While the song was playing, I was trying to listen to see if it's Arita and
Arita, man. Arita.
Zola. I think it's Arita and Zola used for
yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah. I remember coming up by the studio when me and Allergy was supposed to record.
Yeah.
And it was they working on it.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this now. Was the first time you put vocals on a song, like in terms of you doing a song, what project was that? Was it the same?
Singing the song, like
yeah. Actually, you recording a song.
I think that was the one with me and Riff Raff, the collab.
Right.
That was the collab, and actually, that song I had it mistaken it up to this day. That thing that still irritates me. Yeah, I think something went wrong with the lead track at that particular point, and I had to cut it, and only the doubles existed just for that, like one word or something.
Yeah.
And the perfectionist in me would just never let that go by.
That's the reason I play it, because I know.
Yeah.
I know it would have taken you back to the place, man. For real.
Yeah, for real, Jed, for real.
But again, what was fascinating to me with that whole production was the percussions, boy. I was like, how shit you get them thing for songs so sweet, boy. Like, I mean, I think I asked if it was live percussions too, like.
Yeah, you did ask me that. So again, touching back on the MPC and sampling era, because of the fact that I had a stint in the VI. If you ever listen to VI music, St. Thomas, St. Croix, Tortola, St. Kitts, Leeward Islands on a whole, right?
Yeah.
Some forms like Antigua, but probably Dominica, WCK, that kind of vibe. But they have a lot of percussion-rich drum basses in the music, right? Booyah, however the case may be. Bands like Jam Band, who is like legends from the you know what I mean? Nick Friday. These guys pack this stuff with percussion, man. And it's like, as an engineer, if you don't know how to find space for all these elements, bro, that ended up being one big bag of noise. You know, I mean, but taking the experience and injecting that into the fact that I always loved drums from ever since. Drums was my bias, right? So my thing is, if that drum pattern can make me wanna, I mean, and I ain't even the dancing type.
Yeah, it had to make you want to move, boy.
Yeah, if
Just
that
the drums alone.
way and move in a vibe, then it ain't happening. You know?
Yeah.
So if it had to be a loop, I have to build it from scratch, right? It don't matter. At the end of the day, I need to be feeling it, and somebody need to be able to identify with that groove, right? They have CIA agent, they have FBI agent. I would like to consider myself a groove agent.
Come on.
I mean, because it's that. I mean, dude, music it invokes emotion, right? People connect to any given song because of probably either personal experience. A matter of fact, mostly because of a personal experience, right? You would find yourself connecting to a song, whether or not it is the lyrical concept,
Yeah.
whether the melody is infectious. I mean, so the only other thing that could anchor those two elements is the groove or the rhythm, the drums. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where the whole percussion magic come into play because of the fact that I have a drum bias.
Come on. Well, you also would have been, besides being in a band here and getting to produce music and so on for some of the early greats, because Luther, crowd motivator.
Yeah man.
We've always enjoy a live performance from Luther. And I think
you can't get better. You can't. I mean, for me personally, this and I matter of opinion, right? So let me don't even get carried away. But for me, definitely the man just know how to move a crowd. You know what I mean?
Nah, for real.
There are others out there with different strategies and techniques and performance styles. But again, for me personally, is Luther.
Yeah. But again, it come back to the music too. I mean, you had to feel it, not just in the studio, but it had to give you a vibe to want to perform live. So when I heard Mogel and everybody, I go back to the intro, the very first tones that you hear. When you hear tum 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 tum, that is something you could just play on a loop, and he could take 15 minutes to come out on stage.
And that just happened.
And people are gonna be ready anytime he come out. You understand? So
that's the next thing again for me, musically. I tend to latch to intros.
Yeah.
Because of that, personally, when I create something, I like to create a loop because I have DJs in mind, one. Number two,
all right.
If that alone can make me move or make me go like, yo, what coming next, boy? Then it ain't ready yet. Sponsor me. Fast forward a little bit. That particular intro, that tone that gave that song the ID was the last thing to be put in that particular track. I actually had two DJs sit down in the studio here with me when I was mixing the track, right?
Okay.
Them guys and them was like, yo, this song ain't bad. This time the
that ain't gone in yet.
That ain't nowhere to be found yet. So I was like, nah. I said, dude, I said to myself, wait, two DJs sit down here and telling me this wicked, but I still thinking something missing. So I start to sort, and I find this tone and start to mess around with it. And I came up with what you know to be sponsor me now. And I say, now it done. Them was like, boy, you don't stop.
In case the people and them that listening ain't know what we talking about, let me remind them before you just stick a pin.
Yeah,
right?
man.
Just stick a pin. We're talking about one of the baddest songs that could mash up a party. Yeah? Listen this one here. That's the intro there, no?
Send over some cups, send over some ice. Line me up with that chaser, I already know to feel nice. Send over some mugs, send over some ice. Line me up with that chaser, I already know to feel nice.
give them no more. Don't give them no more. Don't give them no more. Don't give them no more. We didn't come here for that.
Yeah. It's an actor.
Nah, but for real, because what I noticed about that song, as you said, the intro came,
Mhm.
ting, 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 ting,
Mhm.
and then Razor now, when you think the thing going and start just so,
It now
he
start.
also now come with a hype intro,
Yep.
and then the chorus now came in. So, you know, I think that particular skill in putting a song together, arranging it in that way or that order,
Yeah.
you know, it's not much people really pay attention to that, you know.
Well, I mean, I can. I lately, I mean, again, big up to my brother Parry Jack. We always talking every single day. We
And
talk.
big up to Parry boy. That's one of my favorite of all time, eh?
Yeah, man, dude. I mean, the Parry's who teach me logic. People like Parry, Cherians, and them fellas, and them must spend a lot of time. You know what I mean? We went to the same audio school together. Again, him as my senior, and
Right.
we end up in the same audio school. I'm saying to myself, man, like Parry don't need to be in audio school, dog. But you know, is the style and the approach to production and creating definitely evolved leaps and bounds because
Yeah.
of the advent of the technology and where different creators fit in the grand scheme of things. You know what I'm saying? Like back then, we had to come up with that intro. A matter of fact, before that, before computers and all these kind of things, musicians better know their parts, right?
Yeah,
Because
boy.
back in the day, tape machines, you
One
can't,
take.
you, you can't put in tape to go and dude, that's a painstaking process, brother. So, you know, you better know your stuff. When you come in the studio, know your music like it's the same blood flowing through your veins. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know, and then we move from that to the cut and copy and paste with the computers, making life
Right.
very easy.
Much easier.
And I actually now getting accustomed to this whole loop based production. I mean, you know, I heard your previous interview with Hunter talking about you know, the fact that he was into loops and
Yeah.
somebody told him that that's not the right way or whatever. I don't honestly in this day and age there is no right or wrong way to create anything. Right? Let me just put that out there because at the end of the day, somebody created the loop.
Right.
But the beauty about that is it gives you a head start and it actually opens up a whole other domain where you could take that, you could mangle it, reverse it,
Right.
use 1 bar out of 4 bars. I mean, the possibilities are limitless. And with the whole royalty free, you know, platform where you don't have to worry about a man suing you for copyright. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So that is again a whole new approach to things that making people that can't even play an instrument. And I mean, we could look at it as from a negative perspective, but I honestly, for somebody that was always in tuned with technology, right, and the evolution of technology where music is concerned, I can't down somebody if they don't know how to play, but they create a big hit,
True.
right? Because
Facts.
you don't have to know how to play do re mi fa sol la ti do and black and white keys to create a big song, right? That whole myth, I think the whole concept is dead. If you ask me right now,
But I mean, perfect example, Michael Jackson. Michael never play any instrument.
Puff
He
Daddy,
just
but he could tell you if that inversion don't feel as
exactly.
you know.
Michael just hum that with the mouth and tell you this is the melody I want.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
this he beatbox that. And you
And
want to get exactly the song like that.
exactly. Because the thing is, he's the person that still have to feel and
Exactly, right.
you know, so for anybody out there that think, I mean, okay, so let me go back to my statement. It's definitely important for you to learn as you go along. I think it's
Mhm.
a parallel approach where yes, you have these creative ideas and you know you're using this particular format to create your stuff, but it would definitely help if you learn the theoretical aspect of it because
Right.
I mean, what you have to lose, you know, if you don't know it and you add it to your plate, make you a better producer.
True. Because the time that you would take to learn how to use the software, is same energy you put into learning, that aspect of it.
Well, not only that, let me take for instance as simple as something like auto tune is concerned, right? Um, producers with the lack of knowledge of the theory aspect of music would just slap the auto tune on
I'll leave it there.
and leave it in the semitone mode, crank it hard, and that's it, and expect it to do its job. But if you understand that the song is in B flat, F sharp, or whatever the case may be, you know the key, you would
Yeah.
know, and what is minor or major, right? That knowledge would definitely help you to set the plugin properly so
It
that
will be more effective, yeah.
right, processing wouldn't sound terrible, and the vocal are trying to tune, because that's where
Right.
you're trying to actually correct the pitches. So if you don't know the key and scale, how are you going to go about doing that? You know what I mean? So again, you're not really learning it to say, okay, you're going to be this maestro on the keyboard. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
learning so that you could apply it to all of these technological tools that they have out there right now that that you use to create your stuff.
Yeah. So tell us now, with all that, being able to know, get that passion coming out of the music, what made you now decide to go a step further and say, look, I'm really gonna do this professionally now, because when we started out at the time, as you say, you didn't really know anything about the music, the studio environment, and anything like that, And look at you now. Today, you have an establishment, professional establishment. You went further and got your education in terms of audio engineering. Tell us what made you get into that.
Um, well, apart from the fact that I wanted to have it on paper, because in the US here, honestly, everything is about paper, but added to that is who you know as well. So
Okay.
combine the two together. I mean, your expertise, the certification, and your recommendation from people who know what they're doing and saying.
Right.
It's kind of hard for somebody to not look your way. That's one aspect. Another aspect of it was um, trying to make my father proud and being able to go the distance to get
Okay.
he wasn't able to get. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the way. But again, in the days of in the Caribbean, you're bringing up a child. You have to focus on the betterment of your kid and stuff like that. And sometimes that would cause you to sacrifice certain
Yeah.
activities that would have came your way and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I embarked on the journey to show him that, look, I definitely serious about this thing, to the point where I definitely want to get certified. And amidst everything that I've learned by trial and error,
Yeah.
right, I am willing to be now formally trained by institution, right, that could actually offer me a piece of paper saying that, look, yes, we definitely certify that this guy know what he's doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unfortunately, in the third quarter of my studies, he passed away. Right? And before I even started audio school, audio school was probably the hardest journey of my life.
Wow.
Because I think the weekend before I started classes, my youngest brother passed away from complications due to Crohn's disease. Right? Yeah, he had just turned 18, got accepted into Howard University and stuff like that. And
Wow.
it's some kind of thing that caused him to get a flare up, and it was just downhill. A lot of different complications. Organs started shutting down. So I actually had to fly out to St. Croix about 2 weeks after starting audio school for a funeral for my youngest brother. And after that, now fast forward into the third quarter of school, I think they had, that year in 2017, I think they had a band, a Clash of the Bands. They brought back Clash of the
They
Bands.
brought it back, yeah.
Right. So that weekend is when he died, right? The same night, actually, that they were having Clash of the Bands, I think they had mentioned his name there.
Right.
Nobody knew that, the man was in his house then. So,
Wow.
I got the call the Sunday morning. And by the time I read, sometimes somebody call you and it's like, you hearing what they're saying, but you're not listening. You're like, it ain't really computing yet.
Yeah. Didn't register.
It's not until the guy finished and he goes silent, I realize that this man called me to tell me that my father dead. I mean, so yeah, then I had to go now and go to student services once again to explain the situation. I actually got very emotional in student services at that point in time. And, there was like, because here I am trying to press and do this course and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? To move forward, musical.
Right.
And boom, two challenges, one behind the other, two hurdles. You know what I mean? And I mean, the most I don't really give people more than they could bear, but I mean, a lot of people had contacted me and be like, well, dude, why didn't just take a break from school, finish that some other point in
Yeah.
life? I say, dude, it would not sit well with me if I do that. Right? It would because of the fact that I wanted to prove that I could have done it. Right? It would not sit well to stop. Right? It would
Right.
have like a failure, and I didn't set out to fail. So I was like, I had to just bear my grinds. I had to leave school for like 12 days, come to St. Vincent, right? Arrange for the funeral and, all that kind of stuff, legal stuff and all the rest of it. Fly back and then catch up with the classes that I missed. Now, the institution don't reissue exams. In my case, was an exception because that's within a 9-month period of time, because you have 9 months to complete the course, 900 hours, right? And if you miss certain classes, obviously what you have to do is do like make up essays and all this kind of stuff like that. But because of my academic performance and my attendance and the payments making on time, never skipping one, they decided, look, when you come back, you make up the missed classes to make up the hours, and we would administer the test to you, just sit down with student services among the staff, complete whatever midterms or finals that you missed, and hand them in, and we would grade you and stuff like that based on that. And yeah, I mean, I think I came out with like a 3.92 grade point average or something like that. It was like 25 classes in 9 months, 4 quarters, and every last one of them A's.
Wow.
No other letters for the grades, just A's. So I mean, up to this day, I keep thanking the Most High for the strength, man, because it definitely wasn't easy.
Listen, man. I mean, some of your greatest achievement that you set out to get, would meet a lot of, things to sidetrack you. And I mean, this one was a big one. I can't even imagine having to deal with something like that. Losing a brother, and then your dad not too long after that. And still coming out with A's.
Bro, it had,
I mean, it.
I remember just after it happened, before I came home, a couple of days after it happened, I mean, I found myself, because I had to catch the train. I was an afternoon student, right? Classes start
Yeah.
at 1:10, so I used to actually get to school at like 11:30, early bird, and just hang out or whatever. Because in an environment with creatives, everybody have a common goal, so the conversation, class starts was very, very good. But yeah, I found myself on about 2 different occasions. I used to stop to get like a smoothie by the stand before I come to school.
Right.
And one particular morning, I stopped Jed and he tell the man, yo, give me my usual or whatever the case may be. And I pay the man, and that, like water falling out my eye, and asking me if I okay. And this is the thing, in the USA, people don't really take people getting emotional too deep. Everybody minding the business. Nobody really try to get. The man's like, yo, dude, you cool? You okay? I had to tell him, man, I just had a death in family, and it's kind of still fresh. So trying to hold it together, whatever. So yeah, I on my way to school, and it was just like tears just draining down my face, dog. I like, yo, this is pressure, yo.
Wow.
And still had to tough it out. You know what I mean?
But during that time, what would you say was the thing that actually helped you to hold it together? Was it the environment and the actual getting to hands-on
The distraction, so when you're in a formal learning institution environment where you have class times, you have assignments, you have things you have to study for because you have a test, they have deadlines to deal with pretty much, right? Versus doing a course online where you do it at your own leisure, right? The engaging in conversation of creative natures with your peers in school and stuff like that. Interacting with instructors who are on the same level with you, because I was one of the students that, I mean, Parry would probably share the same sentiment too. Both of us were definitely way ahead of the game. You had a lot of students in our classes, right? Because we were in two different sections. He was a morning student.
Right.
A lot of the students that came to audio school had zero
experience. Never been exposed to it before.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and you guys would have already had, a couple of years experience,
bro,
actually hands-on.
A lot of these classes was just sitting down and hearing how it's going to be taught, not what's going to be taught. Let's say how they're going to teach it. Because again, I never really even approached it from, I don't know that already, kind of mind. Because again, you don't want to do that. I mean, you could learn different ways to do any one given thing. So who knows? Maybe that's my technique, and maybe the instructor would teach me
a different,
formal technique, or maybe his specific way that worked for him. Who knows? But again, the more the merrier. It could only make you better as a student. So, again, I was pretty much like a sponge, just absorbing everything and regurgitating other things that I knew prior, either in between class or, if, the instructor would ask to shed light on something, a lot of times, he would probably call on me because of the fact that I would be able to relate to certain things or whatever.
Right.
Even like a lot of different students who had difficulty understanding certain things, I would try to see if I could find a different way of explaining it, right?
Okay.
So get it, because again, a lot of times teachers are good, but they only have one specific method in order to get a point across. And again, everybody learn in different ways.
Right.
Right. So, I kind of just fall in line and try to help others along the way then in the class so that everybody could get up to speed. And the funny thing is, we started with probably about 23 students in the class. The day that I wrote my final exam for the last quarter to walk out of the school building there for good, right? It was 4 of us sitting on the room.
Wow.
Out of 23 students, right? People just kind of fall along the wayside, lose interest. Probably thought that they would have come into audio school building beats every single day.
Wow.
But when they saw that, we have to learn about how the electronics that we use in work, a compressor, what is energy, what is electrical energy, resistance, capacitance, all this kind of crap. We have to go and build audio cables, quarter inch and XLRs and all this kind of stuff. People's like, yo, man, I don't understand what this got to do with making music, man. I was like, so a lot of times I started to pull people aside. I was like, bro, I mean, look at me. I mean, honestly, because of personal reasons in my life, I didn't get to finish secondary school, right? Didn't get a chance to do stuff like physics. So imagine...
So you getting it, do you know?
Right, exactly. Imagine for somebody like me who have to go into a class that physics is pretty much the base of, right? To learn formulas now, right? To get an understanding of what they're trying to teach us. Which again, it wasn't anything really complicated per se, right? It was simple enough for me to grasp the concept that they were teaching us. Let's just put it that way. But I had to pull people aside and be like, bro, understand this. If you're in a studio and you're getting a hum from a card that you connect to your mic that you're recording, right? You want to know how to fix that. You know what I'm saying? You need to know how to fix that. Because
most of the times, like in a situation like now, if I hear humming and I can't find the card, I can't find the problem, I'm going to change every card until it stops.
But you see, there's a lot more that goes into it than that. You probably either have a growing issue in one of your your pieces of gear that causing that problem that go into the audio loop. So it's like, again, the knowledge is what we're dealing with here. And
Yeah.
what's even the business aspect of it, when we had to do the business class in the first quarter, a lot of guys had issues because, well, first of all, the instructor that we had was a very feisty young white chick that used to
Ah.
cut down any kind of interruption or argument in the class. Period. Come to tell you what you need to know, and that's it. Like, don't go along the lines of no hypotheticals or trying to counter what she trying to explain to you. She'll shut it down quick fast.
Wow.
And a lot of guys had an issue with that because people were like, dude, I don't understand what all of this business stuff got to do with it. I was like, okay, so when you create your big hit, right, and you get signed and a record company give you a contract that you don't understand what's going on there, right, and you can't break it down.
Exactly. You need to know
Exactly.
how not to be broke.
How to sign your life and your soul away.
Right.
Right. So, I had to rein a lot of my partners in. I was like, guys, just give it a chance. I know it's challenging and you don't see the purpose. It's just like we're in school doing all this kind of algebra and trigonometry and all kind of crazy. It's like, Dan, when have you ever used that in your
Never.
life?
I never have, and I don't think I'll ever will.
Right. Into certain fields that need it, right? But
Yeah.
this is the basis of the education system generally. You're getting knowledge so that you could actually branch off into different areas and specific
Right.
different fields, and then you concentrate your studies. So, I had to kind of hone some guys in, and then a lot of them cool out, and then others was like, I don't see this crap, man. Like, I bumps it. Yeah, people just stop coming and stuff, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. But again, for me personally, because of why I choose to do it, I couldn't allow myself to slow down and stop. Like, I already have had a very strong base knowledge wise because of doing stuff from trial and error and being around people like, again, Cherry Parry, Agent Bailey, Jonas Sutherland, Mark Cyrus.
Right.
You know, so the experience and the techniques were there. And then again, you have, YouTube came along. We have people like Dave Pensado and all these guys and them that I used to be stuck to like glue. But at the end of the day, this is a creative art form, right? Your what you choose to use as your tools to paint the picture, which is your sound, right,
Right.
is totally individually specific. That's what gives the way my production song is because I choose to use certain techniques, certain tones, certain plugins, you know what I mean? And that's what give my music the shape, right? Parry, again, different things apply to him. I mean, right now Parry going into the realm of, he has been into the realm of using a lot of outboard gear, right? So the shape of his song is definitely different, and even
Different. Right.
in the final process of mastering a song, I actually right now trust him more than anybody else, I would say, when it comes to that particular process, right? Because he has proven himself, right,
Right.
as a producer engineer, right? He definitely has proven himself along those lines, which is why I could entrust him now with the material that I create, right? I don't have to worry about sending Parry a mix and getting it back and asking him, yo, Dan, what is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Facts.
You know what I mean? He's a person that would definitely take his time to understand and realize the direction you're trying to go in. And I mean, he would definitely offer his expertise and advice to help the production that he himself would be mastering. So, for instance, if something too bright and brittle or piercing, and he could foresee that being a problem down the road after he finished mastering, he would definitely tell you, well, yeah, make this a little bit less harsh,
Right.
a bit
Make
more
some adjustments before you send it.
right. And you see, because I understand the technical language, right, I'm able to go and make those tweaks in no time, and I definitely know how to give him the song that he asking for the master, right? because of the language that we speak, because of, you know, all those years of experience in the technical aspect of things sound wise.
Right. So how you what would you advise in terms of young and upcoming, producers or even engineers? Because I know we have a couple around right now. And they sort of see it as, boy, I could just go on YouTube and, you know, learn a technique. I'll get the result that I want. Right? But in terms of when it comes down to things that you really don't understand, because I know even for me, there are things that I don't understand how to this day to get a result, but I know what I want to hear.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know, I know what I want to hear, and I try different things, but I still can't get a result. What would you advise them to do in that
Uh,
case?
well, before you even before you even reach the technical aspect of things, first and foremost, I would definitely advise any creative out there, musically, whether producer, songwriter, artist, whatever, please learn the business aspect of music first before you even touch anything.
Right.
You understand me? That could save your life. And it actually gives you perspective, right? Now, the happenings of the music business may not be fair to you as an individual, or you may not see it as fair, but there's a reason why the structure is set up the way it is in the mainstream realm of things. And you now need to understand how that plays a part in how you want to function within the grand scheme of things, right? So let's say you're not with the whole thing where, okay, if I'm an artist, for instance, and I don't write my own songs, I now have to settle for pretty much peanuts because somebody's writing my song, they're gonna need publishing.
Right.
The guy that do the music, he gonna get his publishing. I have to pay the songwriter. And then the songwriter might want to give me any publishing, or he might say, okay, I look at 10%, but any competition you win, I want 15% of your winnings.
Right.
These kind of things may sound unfair to somebody who don't know jack about the business aspect of things, right? But if that's not what you want, then if you have a songwriting skill, be a songwriter,
Be a songwriter, right?
songwriting fee for your time to write the song and collect your publishing for your idea that you created, right? But you see, the thing is, a lot of people, everybody want to be a rock star, so everybody want to be under the spotlight,
Right.
be famous because, Marshall famous, Fian famous, Patrice famous, so they want that spotlight too, and I totally get it. But it's either you're in this thing for the business, you're in it for the hype, and we
Yeah.
all know it's 15 minutes of fame. So if you ain't
Right.
captured when your time reach and you miss it, you know, if you get it back again is a big if. So
It
learn the business definitely. Um, to your point with the YouTube, I can't tell people not to use YouTube because for the longest while before I got into school, YouTube was my teacher,
boy,
right?
to this day, you know.
No, definitely, definitely. But you see, the thing with formal structured learning and okay, something just popped into my mind. Let me go search for it.
Mm,
That's kind of unstructured, and you mightn't find yourself searching for the knowledge that you want until you're posed with a problem. You're faced with a problem that you need to solve technically in a mix or production or whatever. Then you got to go now and Google that.
right.
If you're at a time where you have somebody there, you're creating and you have a creative vibe going on, and now you have to go break that now to go search for something, you know. So and this brings me to the next point. I've been trying to actually see how I could organize for doing workshops, right, with interested persons in St. Vincent, because I'm not gonna lie, there's a different era and approach to production right now. There's a different song coming out of St. Vincent, right? Um, and I guess it works for the market, right? And if that is the case, so be it. But there's a lot of potential, there's a lot of talent there. what I see lacking is the knowledge and the work ethic, right? And the last time I've been home, I think it was in 2019, somewhere about.
Yeah.
I think that's when I was,
Yeah, it'll link me. It'll link
yeah,
me ready.
thinking with holiday. So I was trying to link up um with a certain organization, and that kind of fell through. So my mind was like, dude, you might have to just do this thing on your own. You know what I'm saying? Just set it up on your own and just bite the bullet and just deal with it.
Right.
After that, now COVID hit, and I don't know, it's probably a blessing because I mean you have things like Zoom now, you know, streaming stuff or whatever the case may be. So who knows? Maybe I could organize something and
Well,
set up a whole Zoom class or whatever the case may be to teach.
well, I was just gonna ask you how possible is that? Because now we have the technology where you really don't need to be in a physical class anymore.
Exactly.
And you as well, with all this, wealth and knowledge, you could basically set up programs, whether it's basic and then advanced,
Right.
and then now obviously it would need to be paid. There's a fee.
Well,
But
yeah,
but there's a lot of that online anyway. So
yeah. Right.
what do you have to lose? I'm talking about artists and producers now. What do you have to lose in investing in the knowledge that you need now to help you be a better producer? Because we have not been exposed to the knowledge. And that is the problem I've been having here.
Right.
We
And
haven't been exposed to the knowledge. I remember around the same time when we met, my goal was to actually go overseas and study audio.
right,
But I didn't have the money at the time.
right, right.
So I had to now surround myself with people who already have the results. So it would have been the Agent Bailey, just like what you said, the Agent
Right.
Bailey, the Mark Cyrus. These were people I had to get, at least something of substance
Yeah,
that I could apply.
definitely. I mean, these guys, dude, I mean, the reality of the situation is people like that are our elders. Yeah,
They are.
that, you know what I mean? And as much as at the time they had this song that worked for the market, right?
Right.
It's always an evolution process, both for them and for us. Because again, I evolved out of under these people and them and created my own thing, my
Right.
own direction. And up to this day, these people probably still again exploring, new techniques, new
Yeah.
song
Yeah.
direction.
Them guys still learning new thing because
Right.
remember things sound different now. There's new technology now, and
Yeah,
it's the same way they have to learn it
Yep.
to be ahead of the game.
Yeah. So
You know.
the whole thing with the people that don't have the knowledge at the disposal, um, definitely continue to seek it, but until I could actually set up a structure to say, okay, because that's one of the things I want to do too, man. I mean, a lot of people in Big Enema is like, boy, you don't work with Vinci artists, boy, you're a little big for people now, and blah blah blah.
Nah.
That's not the case with me, right? I look at everything, and people need to understand this is the music business. It's not the music pleasure. It's not the music fun, right?
Facts.
I mean, the gear that you see behind me costs a lot of money. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's a lot of money. And obviously, with everything here, maintenance costs, right? Your light bill, right? This is my day job. You understand me? So I need to have a steady stream of income from this. The ways in which you go about doing it determines if you're successful or not.
Right.
You understand me? And um, a lot of people who have came to work with me in the past commend the fact that I have a certain disciplined approach to what I'm doing. That's the next thing that school again would teach you.
True.
As time again in this kind of art form that we're dealing with in this domain is like time is money. Somebody come to record, they paying per hour. I have an hourly charge. I can't be clicking around a screen wasting a man time. Or tell a man, boy, my hard drive crash. I don't know them thing going on. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I am definitely guilty of that in the past. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's still have files right now that I didn't pass for people that I can't find, and people rinse and bend with me and whatever the case is. But again, before you understood the importance of stuff like backing your stuff up, right? In multiple occasions, right? Is like you had to learn the hard way with that, right? But again, when you have the knowledge at your disposal to learn the correct way to do things,
Right.
you have deadlines to meet. It kind of challenges you to put these things into practice, and how well you do so determines the successful ones from the ones that aren't really so successful. You know what I'm saying? Because stuff like gain staging, mixing, a lot of times people would send me stuff and it's like faders way down to zero and then stuff peeking out. I'm like, bro, what's this? You would send me files and nothing labeled. I'm like, bro, I can't mix this.
Yeah.
People are like, yo, what you carrying on with? I was like, I don't know what I'm looking at. Where's the kick? Where your snares at? I can't look at the amount of files. You have 40 something files here.
I think that's like the number one complaint engineers have with
Yeah,
producers who don't pay attention to organization.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
Next thing is for me specifically, when I am mixing stuff, if I have to tune your vocals, right, it's definitely gonna be an added cost for that.
Yeah, obviously.
Because before you send me the files, I will tell you however you want your auto tune to song or to be set by whoever you recorded or produce the track that I am mixing. Please sit down with this guy and make sure that everything sounds kosher before you send me these files. Just print it and send it, and I go do the rest.
Right.
Because for too much times, I have had back and forth with people. Oh, 9 of auto-tune on it, crank it up somewhere, and they crank it up. Boy, something still ain't sounding right. And I thinking to myself, well, bro, maybe you need vocal training. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's a whole other conversation. But, it's like the discipline of the workflow and ethic, right? When people come in here to do a session with me, a lot of sessions that I have of late is to do stuff like plates or vocal recordings for tracks or whatever. And people come in here, the session already pull up, I done ready already. So it's like all I need to do is do a dry run with you, make sure
Right.
and then we're good. Once your vocals warm and you feel confident you're ready to record, then we go in. Because at the end of the day, right, you're paying me per hour, and there's no reason unless the power company decide to cut power where I should be wasting your time.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's just, to me, there's just no excuse for that. Unless it's just beyond your control at every angle you look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, again, the disciplined approach and practice to what you're doing as a producer and an engineer, even as an artist and a performer, how you choose to dude, I used to look at you with your performances, Jed, and it's like I remember this one performance you did when you did this kind of Latin. I think it was the same year that I
Yeah,
did.
that was the same year me and you competed.
Yeah, what's the one? After I opened the stands and I watched him start perform. On the back of my mind, I was like, this man gonna beat me in a Jed. This man.
But
One-
it goes back to discipline because I don't think I ever put in so much work for a performance than that performance day. Because I went the extra mile in getting somebody to
Yeah.
tutor me the moves, the actual dance move, what my dance move.
Yeah,
I brought the concept to the choreographer and I said, look, I have the vision. I
right.
need you now to mold me
Bring it to life.
and bring it to life. You
Yeah.
understand? So a lot of time was invested, sleepless nights, because you want to get this perfected or even close. You understand? Because you already feel it in your soul, it's going to come out something great. So the same thing with a production. When you hear a song, when you have a rhythm or even a great vocalist that comes in the studio, and you saying, boy, everything meshing well. you ain't leaving the studio until everything.
Well, for me, until I find the groove, quote unquote,
Yeah,
it ain't done until I find the groove.
yeah, you had her.
That's and again, as you say, it goes. Anything in life is about hard work, Jed. I mean, you know, you will face challenges. How great or small, nobody
Hmm.
knows. Only the most I know what you want to fling you or what card you want to deal you, for what purpose you have predestined for you already. So you just have to be prepped and ready for whatever, because
Right.
yeah, passion is the fuel that's supposed to propel anybody to where they want to be. That's why I actually leave you with passion is something,
Facts.
because without that, I mean, to me, it's like you're doing stuff aimless. You know what I'm saying?
True. True.
You're just aimlessly doing things, and you wouldn't find importance or the need to employ again stuff like discipline and the hard work that you need if you're doing
Right.
so.
So in terms of you know, reaching to a point now where you know putting in all this work, now it's time to get paid now.
Right.
Because a lot of we want to get paid, but we don't want to put in the time and even invest because I don't know. I try to encourage a lot of artists. Look, when you get a break and you start getting gigs after gigs after gigs, how much of that do you invest back into your career to propel you to the next level?
Boy,
Because a lot of them believe that the value is in the fame that you get. No, because the next year you could come. Well, let me just say for the festival, because that is what most people familiar with in terms of artists getting recognized and all of that, right?
yeah,
But I think it goes beyond much more than just a festival, because if you say you're in the music business and you're an artist, you don't want to be an artist for today alone. You
exactly.
you want to be an artist 24/7, 365 days of the year, right?
Yeah, long haul, in it for the long haul. I
In the
mean,
long haul.
yeah,
So you constantly have to wake up every day, ready to write songs, ready to record songs, ready to vocal train, you know, ready to take care of your health
your health,
because it's
your
in
voice.
you.
Mhm.
Yeah, your voice is your instrument, right? You know how to invest in promoting, marketing, because and I want you to tell them, because I've had the experience, and even me too when I was now coming up. We believe that the producer responsible for promoting your music.
Up to this day, bro. Up to this day. Um, marketing is a horse of a different color. The thing with a lot of us in the Caribbean, we wear multiple hats, right? We have to be producer, mix engineer, mastering engineer, and then we have to somehow try to join the bandwagon of promoting
Promoting, yeah.
it with the artist, because most of the times for lack of funds, right? But in the real world of music, you got marketing campaigns. You got, I mean, again, and this is probably in a more perfect situation, but
Mm,
you need to budget for stuff like that.
you have to.
You know what I'm saying? You need to budget for stuff like that. I mean, with the advent now of social media, you don't need a publicist anymore. I mean, you could, but it's a bit overkill. Um, all you need is a bunch of people that are rooting for you, right, and want to see you make it and die hard and seeing your vision. However, it's all
Right.
marketing is all about teamwork, right?
Teamwork.
As with anything else, right? 'Cause creating is teamwork as well too. The producer, the artist, how
Hmm.
well the producer and artist gel on the actual
Right.
project,
Chemistry.
right? You know what I'm saying? It's all about teamwork. So nonetheless, with the marketing aspect of things, you got social media. You have people like Julian's promos. You got Lee. You got all these guys are doing blasts and stuff like that. One thing I actually just, and I have to kind of clarify this, because for a while I did unsubscribe to Julian's promos. Not because
Okay.
it's just that, dude, when you see you open your email and you see 5,000 different emails, it's like, bro, I mean, what's going on here, son? So I had to be searching for people email addresses that I get emails from. So like music promotion companies like Sweetwater, whatever
Right.
it may be, blast people like Julian or whatever the case may be. Because obviously you get bulk of stuff from them over a period of time. So I'm like, dog, I need to unsubscribe from this dude, right? Because if not, it's like every month it will be like pages and pages and pages of stuff. Now I can't blame him, man. That's his job. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But these mediums are there to explore, and you need to budget
For
for.
that. For
You know,
marketing. Yeah.
you sit down as an artist and you say, "Look, I want to do a single, right? Can we start at single first? I mean, albums, yeah, you could work towards an album, but album is, to me, I think an album is for more like if you get signed or over a period of time, you do the best of gal, and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I honestly, I'm not really one to go gung ho about albums for one
Or you
particular.
have a streamer hits that you have and you put them together now
Right,
in
because
one
I'm,
thing.
people doing rhythms. You go jump on a rhythm for a producer here, jump on a rhythm for an next producer there. And you might do exclusive production with this producer here, so that will make like 3, 4 different songs
Right.
at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? So again, if the quantity of stuff that you're doing for the period of time amongst the amount of tracks where you could do an album, providing that you and the producers and then work out something where you have the right to use the master on your album, right? Because again, there's a whole other conversation, right? But all of this is forms of marketing that you could employ. I remember back in the earlys when this blast stuff was big. People would send the MP3s or whatever. You get a blast, you could download the MP3 for free. I mean, I'm one person at this point in time that don't believe, regardless to if you are a big, probably if you're a new artist, right? But if you could see some headway and you find again a following, right? Or how about not giving them the bad habit of expecting to download the song for free,
Right.
right? Because you got subscription-based music services now, like Apple Music, you got Spotify, you got
Ton
Tidal,
load. There's a ton load of them. There's a
right?
ton load.
Right, where you could subscribe and then you could create a playlist from the millions of songs they have in their library, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, people would hear the song, right, in the aspect, and then if they actually want to own the song, to me, 99 cents is peanuts to pay for a song that costs probably over $5,000 to produce.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I could never understand for the light of me, why are we giving people the bad habit of expecting, a free final product after we put so much time, so much creativity, so much money into this thing,
Yep.
right? We have to spend to get out on iTunes and stuff like that, and then people don't even want to buy it. So how supportive is the actual audience, right, that we're making this music for, is what we really have to ask ourselves. Because, for instance, if Julianson, and again, I'm not down in Julian, I'm just using joiner reference because I don't think Julian does that anymore. I actually just released a song for Sita today, and I was trying to clarify the fact that he would be sending the links out to either listen it on streaming platforms or to,
Yeah. I think that's how it is now.
right. So because again, I'm guilty of being in
So
my own.
you're not getting the audio to download. You're getting the links to go and stream it.
Right, because I mean, you
Yeah.
could still go on his YouTube thing, create your YouTube playlist, and listen to music regardless. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, you can hit on the radio, whatever the case may be. So it have different places you would definitely hear the song, right? But again, I am not one who believes that after all of that, you just hold that. Because again, it's a business. After I spend $5,000 to produce my track, from recording to mix to master to making artwork to blasting song out and all this kind of stuff like that, to paying for dub plates for DJs, right? You can buy my song for 99 cents. I think that says a lot for the culture that we created, business wise, for the kind of music and the genre of music that we have to offer the world. You know what I'm saying? Please, please believe in the product that you're creating and add some worth to what you're creating. It mightn't seem like much to you. The Backstreet, when I listen to Backstreet with him, no, dude, I gone where like I gone way ahead of that, and it's in the journey of your progress and your evolution process. You know what I'm saying? But at the point in time, I was proud of what I created, and to me, everybody should feel that way over anything they created, regardless to if I create something and you don't like it or whatever. You would always find that in this world of music, because music don't, one song would not appeal to the entire world.
Nah, it would never.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody have an audience. Every song have it audience. So
You go on Michael Jackson's videos right now, although he's the king of pop, and I would show that you see
yeah, some dislikes.
you know what I mean? So, you know,
Yeah, some thumbs down, some with it.
yeah, music is relative, you know what I mean? So, getting back to this whole marketing thing, please believe in your product. And I would urge other people out there that understand quality control, namely the radio stations. Because a lot of radio stations, I remember when Hot just came about, Hot had a standard, pretty much, that, you know, if you bring your song up there and your song up to par, you know what I'm saying? These man, them, I mean, back in them times, I think
It used to go in the bin, bro. It had a bin there in the corner there that used to go in.
It used to go in the trash on
Yeah.
Like, you hear that? You hear that somebody
Yeah.
find it unfair. Because I'm like, dude, after man done waste all them sleepless nights, you go in and throw man thing in the garbage and air. But at the end of the day, you have to understand, these people have quality control in effect, and they have a standard for the establishment that they need to upkeep. What I did not agree with is how a lot of the stations used to go about handling the situation. Because my thing was, okay, if you find as a program director, this ain't someone up to par, and you have an engineer guy that you know his stuff and never sound good or whatever,
Right.
recommend the guy.
Direct me to the
Artist, well, this ain't really sound up to par. Carry it by so and so and so, and you know, see if you could get it sung like we need it to song, right? As a station, you know what I mean? But now I don't even think that problem exists anymore with the advent of all this technology and stuff like that.
Ah, boy, like we don't get that kind of problem no more. We sending back artists to mix over that and master over that.
Yeah, so
because now the technology they know where you could even just send a song online to get master now.
Yeah, Linda, whatever they call it.
Landa. There's a couple of them. Well,
dude. No, I had to laugh because, I mean, yeah, you got artificial intelligence now and this and that, and algorithms and all this kind of crap. But brother man, this is a art form where you need to sit down and make sure your stuff done by a professional that know what you're doing. Again, yes, what these things do is they put your stuff in a ballpark sonically, right? They find a mid-gun for it and they give you back your stuff. That's all. If you need the individuality and the unique, and as they say, the sauce, right?
That's right.
You need a professional to do that, right? You can't expect these machines to do it, at least not yet. Let me just say, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, take pride in what you're doing, believe in what you're doing, and approach what you're doing from a business perspective, because to me, that's the only way that we could change the whole culture of this whole freeness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, your song beating on the radio all over the place, and you walking up and down town in slippers, and I don't drive in a car at least to get from point A to B. You don't have to be driving a Benz, but I mean, at least something to say you get from point A to point B. You know what I mean? At least build a little house somewhere or whatever, what you're doing, because to me, that's what the business aspect of anything should be.
You gotta have something to show, you know, for all the work that you're putting, because you can't just settle for the fame, because fame at the end of the day going to die down. Dude. And fame don't pay the bills. Fame doesn't really look, if your fans not investing in you, which they don't really, because they're waiting on you to give give to them. They're waiting on you to share what you have. Remember, you going in the studio, you paying, you putting in all this work to have it for them to say, hey, right? Hoping that they're gonna be grateful and support you now. Whether it be coming to your live performance and pay to come see you perform, but more so, you hoping that they will buy a record, which most of them don't. Because if you can't sell records, I don't think it makes sense.
Well, bro. I mean, again, you have to be careful with the term "sell records" because that is like in the days of records that apply now. It's all about how much likes and streams.
Likes and stream, but again, well, now we have like how much views and how much streams, right?
Right.
But when you ask about how much numbers do I need to get stream for me to start
Collecting.
basically collecting an income, a steady income, how much streams I need to get a month for me to say, okay, it's $100, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So is again evolution of the music business because even where streaming is concerned is not until recently I think they changed the law where you could monetize streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah, it just recently there.
yeah, everything was tangible at a certain point. Like if you download or whatever the case is. So now they encompass in streaming. So for instance, if like that song for Sita we just released it's on IG, whatever social media platform that
Right,
the uploads of like the music platforms and like iTunes or whatever. Once you send your stuff out to the digital distributor, all of these platforms get it. So if you go on IG stories right now, you type in Sita,
right,
right, that song come up. So you could do your little post, right, and then have that song playing along there.
right.
Just tag into it one time. All of these things amount to stream is very little. But
Mm-hmm.
again, if you have a mass of people doing this thing, right, all the little 2 cents them just add up.
Yeah, because if you get a song and let me say TikTok have it and
Mhm.
it viral, everybody with a TikTok account using your song,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Is a good look for you.
Yep. Yep.
And that is if it go viral.
Well,
Like
this is the thing now. I mean, again, marketing, that's why I say marketing is a horse of a different color because like, even marketing to marketing evolve. You know what I mean?
yeah,
There's social media professionals now, right? Social media engineers who will design a page for you. They know the peak times in which to post where
hmm,
you could get a lot of traffic viewing your stuff. They would know if you do a story post versus a regular post, what have more traffic.
right.
There's a lot of people devoted to that specific form of marketing right now that are experts. Again, I could only comment on the very little I know
Right.
along the social media marketing aspect of things because again, you could take an entire business course, right? Just
Hmm.
focused on stuff like that. You know what I
But
mean?
these course does encourage you to use some of these marketing platforms,
Yep.
but it goes back to now you as the creator willing to pay the cost
hmm
to go that extra mile. And a lot of we don't want to pay that.
You see, and I have had these conversations countless times over where specifically regarding St. Vincent and the situation economically and stuff like that, right? There are people that getting by, there are people that seeing hard times, there are people that comfortable, as with any society, right?
Mm,
Now, and within a scale form, right, based on the population and stuff like that, and the development of the island, the country and stuff, is like a lot of people don't see it feasible to be doing music. They don't have incentive, financial incentive, right? We don't have, and well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Do we have an official performing arts center? Is that
no, we don't, and we've been promised one for the longest while, but we never get.
okay? So again, right? I know that they probably teach music theory in school. I don't know to what extent, and how widespread that is with the curriculum, with the Ministry of Education. But teaching these fundamentals from academic level, right? Before you even go to college, right? Is music a thing in community college? Could you take a music course there? So, it's a case where it had to be feasible before people actually see, okay, why are we doing this? Why
Right.
should we go that direction? And I keep telling people, dude, to be an audio engineer don't only mean to produce music.
No.
API, right? That's the government agency, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, these people have cameramen, they have audio professionals, SVG TV, radio people need technical people. You have even in hotels and resorts, right? You got IT people. I mean, they would probably have you under like an audio visual, like an AV professional.
Right.
Those kind of settings, you need to know a little bit about both, right? The audio and the visual aspect. So, like if you have a conference in a hotel, right? You set up your miking systems, your projector, all this kind of stuff.
Right.
You need technical people to do all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know how specific these jobs are in St. Vincent, because probably the people that do these things probably have other jobs doing, right? But there is a need for audio professionals, regardless to if people realize it or not. You know what I mean? It's just that, again, with the circumstance of it not seeming feasible enough, right?
Yeah.
People take on the mindset that we're going to get into music for I can't make money off of that, blah, 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 blah. You see, the thing is with me as an individual, I made sure and make myself relevant to almost every facet of this profession as I could. I could jump on a stage behind keys and play with a band. I could jump in the studio, right, produce a track, mix a track, and I mean, I would like to think that I could actually go and mix a live band at this point in time, because I've been working with a production company which a friend of mine started. A friend of mine worked with on cruise ships when I used to sail way back in the day, before I brought people like Arita out there. It's like, this dude has his own company now, and subcontracted, funny enough, by the cruise line I used to work with, Carnival Cruise Lines. So when they need extra technicians to be assigned to people that have charter events on their cruise,
Right.
instead of burdening their engineers, their onboard engineers, with that added task, they check my boss, right, with that company, and then he would assign. Well, at the time, it was only me that was actually heavy into audio with the company. But being that it was a lighting and a video company as well, I learned a lot about lighting and minimal video stuff with them as well too.
Right.
So yeah, I could actually hold my end when it comes to live mixing as well too. Not probably on the scale of people like Pablo and like Ezra and them guys, they know this stuff, right? And that's the domain that they're in. But I could definitely hold my own when it comes to that kind of thing.
Right.
So at any which way you turn, I can't afford to pass up the opportunity. If you understand what I'm saying, because again, is money we're dealing with, is a business we're dealing with, right? And the more you work and the more you stay active, is the more your name fly around, and the more you stay relevant.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So, yep.
So in terms of the relationship between producer and artist, I think some people still don't understand things like contracts and I think for the longest while we've been struggling with the aspect where, and you see it too, like producer and artist was good up to the point where the song record and done. But
Right.
then when the song get popular now,
Right.
people start to fall out. Right? How important it is to actually have agreements, contracts before you actually start working.
it's more important than the actual song you're working on,
Hmm.
right? I mean, if you don't have an agreement, might as well don't have a song, right? I mean, and again, I guess I guess most of us in the industry at some point or the other in our career, we had experiences where we didn't understand what we was getting ourselves into, and kind of get dealt a bad cab because of that. Now, in the world of business, everybody need to understand that everybody's in business to get something out of it, right? And with that being said, if you enter into a business agreement with somebody, you need to make sure that the agreement that you enter into with this other party suffices to you, right? As much as it does to them. Because if it's a case where, boy, I mean, this thing looking like he benefiting from every single thing that we agreeing to here. I mean, well, why would you sign something like that?
Right.
You know what I mean? And this is providing that if you don't understand the language that the contract is written in, that you seek legal advice and not just to a lawyer because they name a lawyer. Because again, there are different areas of law. There's civil law. There's you need to check an intellectual property lawyer, somebody that's dealing with entertainment law, whatever the case may be, contract law, right? Because they will be able to decode the contract, and because of the background in entertainment, intellectual property, and those procedures, what you want for yourself as an artist, that particular lawyer will be able to say, look, I don't think this will be beneficial to you. I think what I'm reading here is standard and it's cool,
Right.
or maybe, but a lot of people pick up a contract and a lot of fancy things being worded in there, and they think, boy, yeah, boy, it's a professional thing, boom, 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 right? But there's the problem, right? You don't know how to decode this thing, and English is a very funny language, right? One word could make a sentence mean a totally different thing than you perceive it to be.
Right.
And that one clause in that contract could cause you to sign away your lifetime agreement regarding that particular piece of work. You know what I mean? So again, the agreement that you're entering into, producer, artist wise, it's very, very important that it is very clear. I mean, again, I know the business aspect of stuff, right? I tend to work with a lot of people that don't. A lot of
Right.
people and a lot of people don't have a budget to pay me. And in these instances, you might come to agreement where you say, okay, I'll do the song because I believe in your talent, you got skill, whatever, whatever, whatever. But I own the master and the right to the master that we created.
Right.
A lot of them will be like, well, I don't understand why would you own my song? I don't own your song that you wrote, right? The finished product that we created, right, which includes the song, the lyrics that I wrote, if you wrote your lyrics,
Right.
and that I created, whoever created it, right? The final product that we arrived at and called the master recorded, the commercially ready,
Yeah.
right? The right to that piece of work, the song recording, I retain the right to it. Because again, let me say you wasn't able to pay me my production costs, right? But I still say, well, okay, you know what? I ain't gonna saw the vibe. Let me still go through with it. But I needed to understand that this could be the case. Because again, I want you to express your song to the world, right? Your creativity, your talent, and everything like that. But I still need to be paid for the time and the work that I also put into this whole thing,
Right.
right? So whereas you might find it unfair, me retaining the right to the master, that is for a specific reason, right? Because if I don't recoup the cost that I injected into the project, well, then I can't say that as business. That's me just, I
Right.
mean,
Because you actually invested quite a number,
yeah,
of factors
right,
that actually make the thing a product,
right, exactly.
and you just now come as an artist and believe, okay, I put pen to paper and that is good enough for me to own everything.
No, don't get me wrong. And even me too. Any creative mind is always touchy emotionally with the
Yeah, yeah.
right? They are. I'm not gonna lie, because again, I experienced that as a producer too. Case in point, when they change the bass line and everybody,
Right.
I mean, it's like, boy, what them I'm gonna do that for, blah blah blah, right? But you know, put that aside, leave the emotions aside. We're dealing with business, right? You created the lyrics and your voice and the melody and everything that you sang to the music is embodied with the music into this one piece of work, right? So it's not like you're not getting anything. If you understand publishing for authorship and composition and all this kind of stuff, you would be getting stuff. You're getting your publishing for the idea within this piece of
Right.
work created, right? As the author, the writer, the lyrics, right? Now, again, if you want to own your master and reap all the sales, selling it, well, I mean, you need a budget for that. So if you're cool with functioning in the realm of, okay, let me incur the cost, let me own the masters and the right to say where this master is sold and blah 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 by
Mhm.
who, and if it's fitting to be drafted by this movie and blah blah blah.
Right.
The person that own the right to the master recording retains all of these rights. So like, let's say for instance, Fox Shoes that distribute stuff, right? You sign a contract with these people, giving them permission to distribute your master recording. Now, if you go on iTunes, you would see P with a circle around it and
Right.
use. That doesn't mean that Fox Shoes owns the master. It means that they have the right to distribute the master,
Distribute it. Right.
right? And that's what that P with that little circle stand for. It's not for phonograph. It's for master recording,
Mhm.
right? That's who retain the right to that. The C with the circle is who have the copyright to the actual ideas embodied in the master recording, right? Again, so that's just a crash course 101. with,
Facts. Facts.
you know what I mean? But again, it's very important that artists understand and be at home with these specific business concepts, because if not, that could be the thin line between a great piece of work and production and experience and a very sore one that makes you don't even want to go back into music anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
So
another thing we fall into problems with is when artists see credits coming on a song written by him, the artist, and
me the
the
producer.
producer. Yeah. So
Okay,
artists sometimes don't want to say, okay, but I know as I pen my song, I write it. How
okay.
you going? How you going on as a writer?
So to clarify that,
Which one? Well,
to
the
clarify
producer probably,
the
you know,
composition back in the day, right? Before you had digital forms of creating, right? I remember when people like Alison Peters used to teach me trumpet and stuff like that. He could drop some papers in front of you, the notes, the scores and stuff, and you had to read that and play that. The person that creates the music is an author. He writes as
he
well.
writes the music. Yeah.
And in this digital era, right, you are actually digitally writing,
Writing.
because you could go in any one of your DAWs and pull up the actual score window, right?
Right.
That you play with a keyboard and see the notes that you just play there. Regardless if you know what line to put them on or not, the program designed to do that for you,
Yeah.
right? And this is the luxury that we have now with all this technology. But getting back to the writing, case in point, I actually used to question that too, and I asked Casey about it. He was actually the first person that clarified that for me. Casey
Yeah.
from Productions, right?
I've been guilty of it a couple of times where I
Right.
didn't understand. Yeah.
So he was like, bro, if you think about it, right? I mean, I help to do quality control with the lyrics and stuff like that, but that's a lot of times that's not the reason why I'm claiming the writer's credit. You write in the music as well, so you are by right a writer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this whole produced by and written by, right? I produced it, but I also wrote the music. So if you want to get technical, my name belongs in
Bro,
both.
I've had that back and forth with artists before. Like you can't tell them that you also a writer. Like
It's-
you just can't. Yeah, you produce, but you didn't write because they believe writing is only lyrics and
you
is
see, and
words.
this
But writing is music too.
this again is where the lack of knowledge comes into play. Now, lack of knowledge is one thing, right? But it's the next thing for the knowledge to be there and you not even try to understand it.
Right.
right? For those people, I mean, I don't know how to help you. You know what I mean? But if you approach it with an open mind to say, well, this thing has actually puzzled me. Well, how this is like, how is this really structured,
Right.
right? There are people out there, there are YouTube videos, people like myself, other people, videos online that would actually explain these things to you, right? But again, you have to be willing to want to learn how this stuff is supposed to be done and the terminologies that's used in the correct forms that they're supposed to be used and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
I mean, I have had productions go out where I do stuff on it and they give me a credit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and now it's like everything I do, regardless if I mix or anything like that, I send him a logo, and that's one thing I make sure. And
Yeah.
like, dude, don't forget the credits. Yeah, I mean, it might sound petty, right?
Now you have to. I mean,
But
come on.
but you remember, if my logo and my brand ain't go out there with this piece of work, how do people know who was involved with this project, right?
Exactly.
I need somebody to know that I was involved with it just as much as the new artists who nobody do know and never hear about need people to know, well, boy, yeah, that's the voice of this
Yeah.
artist, and that's the production, or that's the rhythm that this person built. It's just, it's the same thing.
But I think now it started, be more present in productions these days.
Yeah,
Down to the back vocals and all got the logo and the thing too, no.
dude. Well, remember back in the day, if you buy a CD, right? I remember when I used to be up and down town with my Discman and thing, my headphones, right?
Yeah.
Watching my pouches, a ecstatic CD, a Crossfire, a Square One, you know what I mean? And some other random CD. And when
Right.
them leaflet and I look inside of them, right? If you're hearing live hands, you're seeing everybody
Everybody.
with that album there. Everybody there. So if you like how the hand section sung, and he's a trumpet man, however, trumpet
You
by,
know who to find.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So these people got the session musician payment for the session and the work they put in on the session.
Yeah.
And they also got the credit on the album for the work that they did. Because again, they're not going to get publishing for the handline that they created. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to actually work with Mark on a few projects, simple stuff.
Because the
And
musician for hire.
right, exactly.
Right.
Musician. So you work for hire, right? And I would give him a price. You would agree, come in, he would tell me, okay, I want this. I'm looking for this kind of thing, blah, 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 blah. Then I'll play cards. You'll be like, the cards sound good, but, and then I'll be like, okay, if the cards sound good, let me try a different inversion.
Right.
This is where the music theory and knowledge comes into play. Because again, you could play 3 cards in 3 different inversions and get 3 different sounds from it, right? And that would probably govern how well that way you're playing them match with everything else in the song as a grand scheme of things. So, because of the fact that he had the ear and I had the ability to do what's needed as a musician, and the ability also to put into music what he was describing verbally that he
Yeah.
wanted, right? It created a match where we was able to put down some ideas that worked. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, is a lot of things. A crocus bag of things.
Well, I mean, I hope there's actually going to be, I believe, a Zoom online discussion with producers, local producers. It's actually a consultation for the people and them who are on right now. Let me just remind you. Ministry of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture presents Music Producers Consultation. It's going down on February 17th, right? So a few days away,
Okay.
right? 5:30 via Zoom. So for more information, you want to contact the Department of Culture at 784-451-2180. Right? The Zoom link will be posted on Creative and Culture Industries Facebook page. So obviously, we would need to be there.
I mean, I actually didn't know about that. So thanks for the
Yeah,
information.
yeah. I'll forward the flyer to you.
Yeah, definitely.
So for those people who don't know about it, that is what's up. So make sure you get on that February 17th. You know what I mean? So many things that are affecting us and we don't have the knowledge of. You know, like tonight is a wealth of knowledge we're getting from you. You know what I mean? And definitely appreciate what you come on and sharing with us through your experience and your journey. You know what I mean? And hopefully it's not the end. You know, it's only the beginning of what you can actually share. And I hope a lot of people would take heed, you know what I mean? And invest the time to learn about the business. Because we love the business, you know. We just get up every day and go and, write we songs and sing we songs and we expect to see results. But it's so much more behind the scenes that we need to do to actually get the solid results that we're really looking for. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So this is one of the reasons why I started this platform so that we could actually have the access to people who have the wealth and knowledge and who could share and learn from each other. Because there's not a lot of programs in place for us, you know?
Yeah, I'm actually, dude. Remember I was telling you that before you even started this thing.
Yeah, it's like a couple of years ago we
Yeah,
was talking about this, you know?
I am actually happy to see that it actually came to life now. I mean, hats off to you, man, for real. Because as you stated before, a lot of times the public does not have the access to the platform that could actually show them
Yeah.
what goes into this type of thing, right?
Hmm.
The creative art form, the creative process in creating music and sound, and even songwriting and techniques and all this kind of stuff like that. History, you
Yeah.
know, just the whole thing that encompasses what we do as creatives.
Yeah.
That, I mean, again, hats off to you for definitely bringing it on stream, man.
Yeah. And one of the things too, I don't know if you could shed some light on it. The different ways of which you as an artist or even a producer, but right across the road as a creator, could start making that income online because there's plenty of platforms now where you could actually sell your music. Not just on a streaming platform, but actually sell your creations to films and commercials. You could shop them to even artists who buy beats. There's so many platforms now that I've seen in the hip hop arena,
Yeah,
right? I'm hoping that in the future there will be a platform for soca music and dance or like Caribbean music on a whole. No. I'm
yeah.
hoping that there'll be an actual store where producers could actually go and sell or even
Well,
network.
I think if I'm not mistaken, and I don't wanna say anything incorrect, but I think Mali B.
Ah, Mali beat.
Yeah, I think he have some. Well, I don't know if he have a site or anything, like that, but
Mm.
the structure in which the hip hop realm does things where you could go on All Star Beats or whatever,
Right, beat stars and yeah,
it's, and then you list the MP3 with the tag, you list it with,
right.
so they have different price structure packages and stuff like that.
Mm.
I think he, if I'm not mistaken, I think he functions along that kind of realm too. Outside of
Okay,
that, he does actually do for people,
right.
right? Because I think somebody told me one time that they actually listed something from him. So I was like, wow, I didn't even know people in Vinci doing them thing.
Yeah, because I mean, even on Instagram too. I mean, we had to look at so many different avenues where you could create have income for your music, for your talent. Because
Yep.
we can't just sit down and say, boy, okay, we're waiting for Carnival to come, we're waiting for COVID to over. But really and truly, your music have different places that it could set and have income, steady income coming in, and you don't even have to go and perform on a stage. You understand?
Yeah.
Some of the income I have made, some of the bigger income that I've made is from commercials, jingles,
Yeah.
all this kind of thing. You understand?
Yeah,
It's
dude.
not from me going on a stage and perform,
Yeah, and
right?
you're still a part of the creative
It's
process.
still a part of the process.
Yep.
And you have to know that music have a place in so many different places, so many different ways. So you had to tap in, you had to now do your research and find out
Would
where
it fit?
my music could fit in.
Yep.
And I could actually now see returns coming back,
You know,
you know?
somebody a while back kind of make me feel a way at one point in time. As a matter of fact, throughout my journey as a creative, you always get this. Okay, what do you do? I'm like
Yeah,
music producer, audio engineer. It's like that's all you do. Like, and
hmm,
the kind of facial expression that comes
yeah,
with the response now is like, what do you mean if that's all I do? It's like, but what about like, so their whole view and perception of a job is a 9 to 5
yeah.
in an office, in a well, I don't know what work setting they're thinking about, but I mean, my 9 to 5 is here, right? Regardless if I take 5 to go upstairs or not, whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, this is I make this my environment, right? Because that's how I design things around me. Now, there's like, but I still don't see it. I say, okay, if you wanna understand how important what I do as a, especially an engineer is concerned,
hmm.
picture your wall without sound, right? Imagine not being able to hear not even the wind blowing, not even
Right,
water, the leaves ruffling, a car passing, you're blowing a horn. You can't hear nothing.
nothing.
I remember back in school, we had a training acoustic class. We watched a video of this implant, the cochlear implant, where is a hearing aid sort of, but it's not. It's attached to the nerves in your brain,
Oh,
right? So because this couple was deaf, right? From I think from birth, if I
mm,
wasn't mistaken, and they opted into this whole experiment where they had to take this implant or whatever the case may be, and they never hear a song in life, right?
right.
And when they took the implant, after the husband and the wife wake up, the wife after a day, she started to see like this woman started to face real problems because she started to hear things and she don't like it's like sensory overloaded
Yeah,
because her brain wasn't working for so long, right? And now all of a sudden you have all of this input, right? She wanted them to take it back out. I mean, the husband went through some hardships too, but it's like
wow.
you watching water running, you wasn't able to hear it, and now you're hearing the trickling sound of the water running. Like,
Yeah, you're going to hear everything.
eh, I had to explain this to the person. I was like, what I do is work with sound. I understand sound, right? We manipulate sound, we design sound, we process sound, right? We troubleshoot sound. So that is my job. I mean, I'm not a
Right,
structural engineer, but I'm saying that's what I do. And I mean, if that ain't enough for you, well, bro, I mean, I love it. That's my passion. That's all I'm at.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's like somebody trying to show you, how to be a doctor, but you didn't really understand.
Yeah,
You really,
yeah, exactly. I mean, again, if you have the passion for it,
you don't know. Yeah,
just dive in, man. Open your mind to learn. Don't try to learn one dimension. Don't use a one dimensional approach to your learning, right?
mm,
Absorb all the different techniques that you could along the lines of what you're passionate about. And this is not even for music. This is just generally,
yeah,
right? But obviously, I'm appealing to creatives out there, right? Just be passionate about what you're doing. Learn the business aspect of it, definitely. Employ some form of discipline and work ethic structure, and don't sell yourself short with the end product. I mean, we're in this thing to make money and support each other, whatever the case may be. So, this whole thing about pulling on one another too. I mean, we had to get past all of them things. Everybody have the avenues and the song and the way they want to do things.
facts.
We need a solid foundation, knowledge and workflow wise first before we could branch out. A tree don't just end up being a tree like that. A tree had to start from a seed, spout up, then it start to throw out leaves, and then it grow up, form back. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole process in this thing. I mean, if we're gonna be successful, we definitely have to understand the process.
Right. So in
Yep.
terms of music now, let we know where you are right now in music. I know. Well, we're gonna play a song that you recently produced, for Sita, the lyrical diva. I think
hmm
she dropped that song, this morning or yesterday.
this this
Today.
this morning show.
Officially today, because I saw it blast on my social,
Yeah,
and I got it on WhatsApp and so on. So musically, I mean, where you are in terms of production, and who some of the best big people that you work with, or some of the best songs that you recorded so far.
boy. Sure. When it comes to names, I tend to work with a lot of potential and a lot of young upcoming people and try to groom them. With
Right.
the fact that I definitely understand the challenges of a young and upcoming artist, and I try to offer, if not for anything, knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? And I, for one, don't really try to paint a pretty picture. I will paint the reality of the situation.
Real. Yeah. Get them it real.
Right, this is what you're dealing with. This is where you're at. This is where I think you need to be. So if you don't think you need to be there, well, maybe you need to reevaluate or probably find a different direction, not music at all.
Yeah.
Sorry to bust your bubble, but that's me. Anybody who know me will tell you that, right? But is I mean, lately I've been doing a lot of creating with James EP,
Okay.
right?
And James is a hell of a writer, boy. Yeah, boy.
And that was
Uh,
encyclopedia when it comes to concepts, dog.
Concept, you can't beat him.
That song for Mikey Mosa that we did, they're getting it good. That was probably like about 2 years and so in the making. It actually got in the laps of Marshall Montano, and
Right.
for whatever reason, I guess he passed on it. And I was kind of excited, that it actually got that far. But for whatever reason, they decided to opt out and do other things, or whatever the case may be. I was like, all right, well, no scene. We wanted to actually turn it into a rhythm, but
Okay.
artist wasn't being timely in terms of responding. So I was like, yo, you know what? Let me just press play, man. After a while, Mikey asked me for, he's like, dude, I mean, if you don't mind, we could discuss me buying the master from you or whatever.
Right.
We discussed the price or whatever, and I was like, all right, boom, you got a deal, hold that. Right? And the song release, and, he gave his take on it because, his team was actually telling him to hold it back because of COVID and all this kind of stuff. And he was like, you know what? We could do that, but he's like, I think people need to hear, people need something right now.
Yeah.
The concept of this song, getting it good, is actually a song overall about gratitude, being grateful, right, for where you're at, and just celebrating the fact that you're alive and well. You know what I'm saying? But it was done in such a way where, dude, if you hear this song, you definitely gonna move to it. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Other names, boy. I mean, other than people like Tony Prescott, local people in Vincere, Luther, and the regional, international scope of things, no big names yet.
All right.
Yeah, no big
Well,
names.
of course, you've been working with Request Band for a number of years now.
So Request Band, musically, when I entered the band with the whole premise, and I made it clear to them, I mean, yes, we are a band, we are a cover band, however the case may be, but me as an individual, I produce as well. I
Right.
put stuff to the plate. So I don't want to be in a band for the rest of my life playing cover songs of
Of course not.
the top artists out there, whatever the case.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, a promoter is gonna look at and weigh his pocket. It's like, okay, why should I pay you X amount to perform Marshall and Bungie and Patrice and all these other songs when I could hire these people? Yes, it will cost me a lot more, but at the end of the day, my fet sell out.
Right, because you're getting the actual
The authentic,
people and them. Yeah, the authentic artists.
you know what I'm saying? So I made that clear to them, and then we started creating stuff. I created Leon's female vocalist for the band. I did oh my god, what was her first song again? Anyway, so we actually had two groovies, right? Her song, and I think I did a rhythm for us, and then Sponsor Me came, I think, a year or two later.
Okay.
And that was the song because, trust me, Reza as a man, he existed up here for a while. Like, he was into the fabric of the soca scene up here.
Right.
So a lot of the soca DJs and stuff like that I know up here, is through Razor because again he got the streets. Let me put
Right.
it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows Razor. So when this song came about now, everybody was really happy that dude, you were able to definitely create a buzz with an original song. And even more so, I was in the band. Look, I am one producer. I like to think of myself as somebody that could create different styles. But at the end of the day, you really have an identity. And no matter what you try to create, you would always have your flavor in it.
True.
Right? So I urge them definitely to branch out after a while and start to work with different producers. I say because I can't sit here and fool my fat and think that I'm gonna be the one that always producing all the hits for you guys.
Right.
I mean, definitely there are producers like that, but again, when it comes to a band setting and you have a male and female vocalist, one of the things I want to establish is the fact that you have a diverse array of styles and music that you put and bring to the plate, right? As a whole entity, as a band. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when it comes to names of artists up here, people like Yankee Boy, people like Reza, Leons. I never produced anything for Lyrical per se, but he definitely did recording sessions in the past with me here and Rhythm,
Okay.
right? Probably about they had this what was it called, the Mad Blood Rhythm, I
Yeah.
think. Right. So the track that he had on that particular rhythm was recorded here by me. The Kiss Rhythm. Budgie and Problem Child had a song on that rhythm. And then Yankee and Patch had a song to Head Nice and that rhythm too. Reza and Leance had You Alone on it. Actually, Patrice had a version on that rhythm that I don't even think anybody knew that Patrice was on the rhythm. She actually
Okay.
on the rhythm because Andrew Denny did her thing and everything else was done by Obanga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so as I say, no entirely big names as yet, but that don't mean that are sleeping. Let me just put
Well,
it.
well, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah. I am always either learning something, working on something, advising somebody about something.
Facts. Facts.
At the end of the day, the only way we're gonna grow is to share the knowledge, right? The right knowledge, specifically, to the people that seemingly are passionate about the same things that we are passionate about. That have the common vision and goal in mind. You know what I'm saying? Too often have we been subjected to not enough knowledge, or very few people have the right knowledge and we don't have access to it. You know what I'm saying? So it places us in a category way far from what the others that know the correct things. You know,
True.
so it's like, each one teach one is my thing. I got the knowledge over how much years of experience and then doing the formal training in school and stuff like that. I'm at a point now where I could actually advise people and give people the right knowledge to set them in a position to decide if I want to continue on this road as an artist or producer, or if this is probably not the thing for me and I want to branch out and do something else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, musically, I have material there right now that, as I said, lately I've been doing some creating with James, and we came up with some things that, um, he expressed to me that eventually he wants to do an album because he don't want to continue writing for everybody forever, right? And because of the fact that he came from being an artist first, on stage, actively performing, right?
And a real a hell of a performer too.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, is a performer that people really enjoy seeing on stage. Not only just his songs, but he does really deliver when he come to perform.
No, definitely, man. Energy, energy. Yes.
Yeah, James, big
I,
up yourself anyway, the boy.
yeah, I used to call him the Vinci Elephant, man. Because
Nah, for real, for real. It just remind me of Alien Truth.
yeah. So and I mean, over the course of time, he became a real good virgin. I mean, back in the day, working with it's actually through Luther I met James, right?
Okay.
And then the whole musical band history they, played out, and then fast forward to him becoming a writer, writing things like Hulk and a lot of other things out there that people may or may not have known that he wrote if you didn't
Right.
read the credits. He has become a very I mean, we able to WhatsApp every day if we need to, share, laugh outside of creating anything, however. Sometimes he want me to do a quick favor for him, boom, 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 do whatever he needs, send it back to him, however.
Right.
That's how we live. We live good, you know what I'm saying? So there are products right now that's sitting, waiting to either be bought by artists or for him to decide, I don't want to sell this one.
You gonna keep that one?
Yeah, I want to keep this one. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it definitely have material. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
how do you know when to release a particular song? Because I mean, from my experience, it have songs that you may have and you figure, boy, for some reason you keep holding it back your shelf in it. And then probably say 5 to a decade later, you decide to finally drop it. Right? And it it shot still. But in your mind, to you that's an old song. But
Dude, I mean, as I stated before, right? Me personally as a producer, once I find that groove
yeah,
and chemistry wise, everything in me telling me that's it right there,
yeah,
I good. Now, the flip side of it is the artist, because case in point, and I don't want she cost me for this, but this song that we just released for Sita here. She came up here one time. We linked. She came to the studio. She was like, "Let me just try to do something, man." So I want something different,
right.
right? So I knock up something, and she was able to do a rough track on it, however the case may be, and I added stuff to it, tweak tones, whatever the case may be. And based on the concept that she put on, I tell myself, I was like, "Yo, I don't even think I want to go too fancy with this." She tell me she wants something different. I never heard anything sound like this
Yeah.
before, because again, when I finished it and I actually listened to it, never heard anything that she did sound like this. So I'm like, well, this had to be different. You know what I mean,
Yeah, facts,
if
facts.
you like it or not, that was a question. But then when I sent it to her, she loved it. But then came to the point where she wanted to release this song last year for Valentine's, right?
Oh,
She actually recorded it in 2019, right? Around November, somewhere around there. And I mean, and I keep telling her, I'm like, chick, if you don't know who you are right now as an artist, especially on the local scene, then I don't know when you're gonna know again. I say, because if people don't know who First Lady or Sita the lyrical
yeah.
lady by now, then you just ain't paying attention. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, facts, facts.
So I spent a lot of time trying to convince her to release a song. And she was like, boy, me no, because she was getting good feedback from the right people, but something still wasn't sitting right. And it turned out to be, I had an element, I can't remember if it was like a guitar or something I had in the intro that apparently was throwing her off vibe-wise, and she didn't realize she couldn't explain or pinpoint that was the problem.
Oh,
I'm saying to myself, I here thinking that this thing good, and like, what going on this chick, son? Like, why she back and forth about this thing? She wants
right.
something different now. Like, what's the scene? So, she say after about a couple of months, of this thing running cold, she linked me back. She was like, do me a favor now, take out that thing that I had it for me, please. And I sent back the intro just so, and she was like, yeah, Joe, I think that's it.
She ready. She ready to ready for release.
That's it. It's not talking, no, not all up there. That's just music, and she's
Yeah,
like, well, maybe we could put something out there. I could probably go by Leicester, Fourth Dimension, drop an insurance, send about the file, whatever.
right.
Ultimately, she was like, yo, I have somebody in Trinidad I could use to send a voice note for me. I think if I do that, it goes song up to par. Because I mean, with me, quality counts. So it's like, I mean, I want to look quality thing in my whole project.
Right.
But again, with the advent of technology, you do a voice note in a quiet spot with an iPhone or Samsung, whatever the
Come
case.
on.
You got good file there. So, I pull it in, tweak it a little bit, drop it in the intro, put some, splash it a little reverb to make it sound nice. And that's what you're hearing right now, and even release-wise, I tell her, I say, yo, Galaxy check me to do an interview Friday, and I know you ain't decide. She says sometime next week, This is
Yeah.
coming week, So she didn't even set a specific date. So I was like, well, let me pitch this by you, right? I would like to use the song as a new release for the interview as well. Add it to everything else that I did in the past or whatever. She said, well, yeah, you know what? Well, yeah, we could release tomorrow. And then, so, like, yo, what is the real scene, son? But, I totally understand the confidence thing where building your brand and your quality control is concerned. Because, okay, if it was just for the local market,
Right.
Okay, yeah, boom. But see, to reach a point now where she appealing to a Bajan market, a Jamaican market.
International.
Yeah,
International.
she
Yeah.
appealing to any market. So now it's not just, well, you have Vinci go like that. It's about, boy, I wonder if the Bajan market go on this way. You know what I mean? I wonder if Chini go pull this in after I done release.
Yeah, because remember now, she had to be thinking, my last hit, it was this song.
Yeah.
And it connect in Trinidad. Because when you listen to the one that she had there with Matey,
Right.
Matey was one of her biggest tracks of all time, and it was a soca track.
I actually,
Right?
I actually did a dub plate for a DJ up here that took her to do an interview by
Yeah.
for me to carry by him, because I know once he do the interview, and I told her this, I was like, yo, this man I carrying you by up here, he not as hype as people like Rigo and them fellas and them, but
Right.
he is very known and respected around here. You know what I'm saying? So, and when he reached in the interview, the man tell is like, yo, well, this, I tell him plain, I was like, I don't even want my name called interview. You do the interview, it's all about however the case.
Right.
Before our time up here, however. Right? And he do me the favor because it was a no for no thing. And he's like, boy, shit, I don't do them thing, but it could bring she this time, blah, 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 blah. So, carry a day, and he was like, do it. Listen, this individual that bring you here, I respect him enough to actually do the favor for him. So if you bring you here, you had to be saying something, right? And she definitely did she thing. She was
Yeah, man.
you know what I'm saying? So, I again, I understood the procrastinating and the uncertainty of would it be accepted? Would they feel it? Maybe people ain't gonna like it,
Yeah,
But-
because remember, you're reaching in places where you ain't reached before. So
right.
you're thinking now, boy.
But I told her, I'm like, you see, this is the thing with me, again, being a risk taker. As creatives, not everybody gonna like every single song you do.
Can't happen.
You know what I'm saying? But the consistency of releasing good quality and knowing that, okay, this is something that I wholeheartedly wanted to give
Mm-hmm.
to my audience. That alone should sit well with you to know that, okay, the song quality was good, the concept and the way I wanted to bring it across in the recorded performance, I'm satisfied with it, I like it, whatever the case may be. And look at it now. She was worrying about it, and I asked her, I was like, what's the feedback? She's like, everybody liking it so far. I got a random message today from a female gym instructor in Barbados. When I posted it on my WhatsApp stories, right? I got a random message from this chick saying, yo, I love her music, her delivery is so awesome. So I said to myself, wait, hold on. Again, I know she have and then she herself tell me, yeah, well, I have a following in Barbados, however the case.
Right.
To know that somebody I know that I didn't know that's follow her music, right? It was like, well, there you have it. You know what I'm saying? Enough said.
Well, we get in right now. Brand new. Sita the Lyrical Diva. For those people who ain't hear it yet, we have the privilege and the honor, to have the producer of that track that we're gonna play right now. Artist Sita the Lyrical Diva. What's the name of this one? Big friend.
Big friend.
You know what I mean? Somebody out there could relate.
Yep.
All right, let me get in. Brand new right now inside Vstream.
Whiz boy, you of all people? Well, you could have killed me. Question: how you sleep last night? Come a smile in front of me face, fake friend. How you sleep last night? When you sit down for me name and trace, how you sleep last night? Sleep last night. Fake friend, how you sleep last night? How you sleep last night? Whiz boy, you of all people? Well, you could have killed me. Question: how you sleep last night? Come a smile in front of me face, fake friend. How you sleep last night? When you sit down for me name and trace, how you sleep last night? Sleep last night. Fake friend, how you sleep last night? How you sleep last night? Sleep last night. Tell me how you sleep last night. Them too wicked and bad mind. Walk fast, no make your shadow touch mine. No make your shadow touch mine. You me see them, I'm blind. Daddy did tell me no fi trust mankind. If you no like me, why you no just keep from me? But you want swarm round man like the army. Clean our people are hypocrite, no blend. Give me 50 enemy than 40 fake friend.
Kind of the thing I want me to.
Well, you could have killed me.
Get familiar, brand new Sita.
Sleep last night. Come a smile in front of me face, fake friend. How you sleep last night? When you sit down for me name and trace, how you sleep last night? Sleep last night. Fake friend, how you sleep last night? How you sleep last night? Sleep last night. Tell me how you sleep last night. Them too wicked and bad mind. Walk fast, no make your shadow touch mine. No make your shadow touch mine. You me see them, I'm blind. Daddy did tell me no fi trust mankind. If you no like me, why you no just keep from me? But you want swarm round man like the army. Clean our people are hypocrite, no blend. Give me 50 enemy than 40 fake friend. How you sleep last night? Come a smile in front of me face, fake friend. How you sleep last night? When you sit down for me name and trace, how you sleep last night? Sleep last night. Fake friend, how you sleep last night? How you sleep last night? Sleep last night. Tell me how you sleep last night. I mean like say you're made in China. No authentic, you are no designer. Me done say you a big time bomber. You there you countdown number one pan the timer. Me tell you if you careful how Please boy, you of all people? Well, you could have killed me. Question: how you sleep last night? Come a smile in front of me face.
Let me know how you feel about this one in the comments right now, yeah?
When you sit down for me name and
have you ever had a fake friend before?
Sleep last night. Fake friend now.
If you ain't got none yet, trust me, they coming.
Sleep last night. Tell me how you sleep last night. Them too wicked and bad mind. Walk fast, no make your shadow touch mine. No make your shadow touch mine. You me see them, I'm blind. Daddy did tell me no fi trust mankind. If you no like me, why you no just keep from me? But you want swarm round man like the army. Clean our people are hypocrite, no blend. Give me 50 enemy than 40 fake friend. How you sleep last night? Come a smile in front of me face, fake friend. How you sleep last night? When you sit down for me name and trace, how you sleep last night? Sleep last night. Fake friend, how you sleep last night? How you sleep last night? Sleep last night. Tell me how you sleep last night. I mean like say you're made in China. No authentic, you are no designer. Me done say you a big time bomber. You there you countdown number one pan the timer. Me tell you fi careful all who you call friend. Chucky done dead, nothing no last till the end. Change up them hand like card where your deal smile coming like magic. Me know it no real. How you sleep last night? Come a smile in front of me face, fake friend. How you sleep last night? When you sit down for me name and trace, how you sleep last night? Sleep last night. Fake friend, how you sleep last night? How you sleep last night? Sleep last night. Tell me how you sleep last night. One bad mind. Yo, why them stay so man? Act like me friend, but you fake all the while. Fire on a bad mind. Fake a them. Yo, me bun bad mind. Me no know one to them. Go on like friend and them fake more time. And then think you don't know. Think you don't know.
Yeah, man.
Yes, I.
Tell you. Nah, I'm loving it, no. I had it this morning while driving around in my car. Because...
What's on the car?
Come on, it's something crazy in the car, man.
Boy, that's one thing. I don't have the luxury of going out like listening to how, well, especially in vehicles, right?
So you don't get to listen the final thing in a vehicle, like every producer should.
Hardly.
I can't
Hardly.
believe it, boy. I
Hardly.
can't believe it. One of the greatest pleasures is going in the car and listening to your mix, boy.
In the car.
If it ain't song good in the car, it ain't song ain't good no way.
You understand
The
me?
second place I just want to make sure it's song good is on your mobile phone.
Well, yeah, definitely. Well,
Yeah.
that I just do. If I can have everything on the phone,
Yeah, really important.
parking on the phone, then something ain't right.
Yeah. So, well, I loving the elements in the rhythm. One of the the whole melody.
Yeah.
What is that? A synth in the beginning there.
Yeah. A couple of things, well, but that tonk, that's what was that? I think a lot of stuff that wasn't from Nexus.
Nexus.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a producer. That's one of my favorite tools, you know. Nexus.
But see, a lot of people, again, because of the whole $60 per expansion thing, a lot of people don't really elaborate on the library. Not that I want to elaborate on the entire Nexus library. But a good thing that Nexus does is that you could go and listen to the expansions and hear songs that you would like, and then probably you buy that pack or whatever.
Right. But you could also design your songs on Nexus too.
Well, dude, I mean, let me tell you something. Song design is a process, and I have to tip my hats off to people like Johan from Ultimate Rejects, right?
Yeah, boy.
That youth, Jed, I respect Casey, but I also equally respect Johan because both of them have this style.
Okay.
Right? And to me, when it comes to soca music in like the past probably like 15 years or so, 10-15 years, I would say that them two guys played a major role in shaping this song.
The song that we have today.
Yeah, that we have right now, and that everybody trying to pattern.
It's a different level of energy, you know.
Yeah. So, but Johan is a man. Okay, for instance, he got into how he designed that 40-foot rhythm with Bungie.
Yeah.
Yo, the man showed me at the time that particular tune came out a massive, right? He showed me where it came from in the EDM realm of things and what he did to it and stuff like that. I was like, boss man, you have real patience, Jed. Right? He said, well, boy, if I don't try to be different, I mean, everybody would just be using the same thing.
You realize some of them tones, you don't really hear them nowhere.
Well, I mean, he was one of the guys.
You can't duplicate them.
He was one of the guys because of the fact that he still is a DJ, but he was heavy into EDM and where that EDM producers approach production, they do a lot of song designing and tweaking and messing around with the tones and whatever.
Right.
A lot of those VSTs that you would see with all the knobs like massive and you could change LFOs and envelopes and all this thing, right? Is to actually create what the exact song that you want and how you want it to function. That's what all of them parameters they for. But a lot of times we just take the easy way out and
choose a preset
they give us, and that's it. But there's so much more that you could do with the song design. But unfortunately, a lot of producers don't have the time to sit down and mess with a synth for 2 hours.
Bro,
to get
I love that kind of thing because even drums too. I love to hear a drum pattern or a song that I never hear. I like to hear a snare that I never hear yet. That is the snare I'm most likely to pick to put in a song.
Well, drums, right? Drums, I definitely will overkill on drums, especially where the tuning aspect is concerned.
Yeah.
Right? If I notice my partner here. This. Lately, I haven't been using it as much because I'm using a lot of combination of loops, interactive, percussion-wise and else. But one thing that I always use for my kicks is Kick 2, Sonic Academy. And every single song I do, I create a kick to match the song. So the kick is always tuned to the key of the song and all this kind of that. The actual regular kick, not the 808 that play in the bass, but the regular kick that is tuned to the root note of the key that the song is being played in.
Okay.
So that way, when you're ready to do your mixing and thing, you don't have to worry about your kick and bass fighting one, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
Mad.
Yep.
Well, yeah, boy, we had a great session tonight for real.
Yeah,
You
man.
know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's been a long time coming.
long
And
overdue.
long. Cause you know we don't sleep. I know you don't sleep, and you know I don't sleep. So,
Boy, I hear Hunter say about the dark circles them on the eyes, boy.
bro,
This guy
listen.
a cucumber thing, and but dog, countless times I did on here, and when I ready to go up, I see in 5:30 a.m. and
Yeah.
I said, where was this man who was saying that? Boy, let me go upstairs now when it press. And now it's after 5, and I going upstairs to I get 45 minutes rest to wake up again.
Boy, it's about them time I just really go in and sleep too, no?
Yeah, man.
Get 45 minutes, half an hour sleep and back up again.
But see, that is sacrifice that we make for the work that we're doing, man.
Yeah. You gotta do it. I
Yep.
mean, and it's a good feeling too when you achieve, you know, putting in all that time and then you see that the vision that you had come to life, you know.
I mean, case in point, you know, again, this whole platform here.
This to me now, you know, is a great feeling, and for me to have people I could invite who share the same passion, because people don't get to see this. They don't get to actually hear the conversations and the process that we go through, and you know, the sad times and the happy times. They don't get to hear that. They just get the finished product.
Right.
And sometimes they don't even see the faces of who responsible.
Exactly.
You know, so this is why we're doing it now.
Yeah, man.
Because
yeah,
we wanna give you your flowers before you know. We don't wanna wait until you're gone to get your flowers.
But up to now, I actually, I mean, I had to get on that before people like Frankie ready to close his eyes.
Yeah, I praying that I will get Frankie on here, sometime.
I could actually try and link that for you, because me and his son, his Omar's play bass. I could try and link that for you, but I mean, I don't know what his schedule is going to be like, but
right.
That is definitely possible.
Bro, that would be awesome. That would be an honor. That would be the icing on the cake, like for me, because Frankie, to me, I don't think I would have listened to soca the way I listen to soca if I didn't listen to Frankie music. Like if I didn't get to hear him, what he did with Beckett, and I don't think I would have the interest in it like that.
I actually have to contact him to do a sit down, because I have camera in my like that. I have to do a sit down interview with him to get some history of him that died with my father, about my father.
Okay. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that again is something that I set out to do, and again, because I had school, and then out of school you dive right into what you're doing here, music. Yeah. So, you know, I definitely need to do that. I mean, a lot of stuff that I have right now that still probably in the house down there that he was living in. I need to actually carry them things to the National Archives, because you know what I'm saying, you know, that's where they belong. You know what I mean?
For real.
For people like Frankie, with the works that he have done with people like, you know, Beckett and Sparrow and all these people, is like we have so much heroes right now and icons in our island that I don't think we just shed enough light.
No, right? we don't.
You know, so yeah, man, that's definitely something that I could try to you know, to bring on stream for you, however the case may. I could actually forward your son link on WhatsApp. So you could probably
I will appreciate that.
Yeah, man. One thing I was trying to, I think I had link on it the other day, and I guess she was on here, however the case may be, but I don't know if you have it in mind yet, but you should think about incorporating like a trivia. Yeah,
that's an excellent idea.
So like, you know,
that's an excellent idea.
So like this.
Thanks for pitching that to me.
Yeah, this interview, you think of a question to give at the end of the interview for expecting the answer for the next session.
Right.
Who knows, if you get sponsors for it, you could probably incorporate prices for winning trivia.
Yeah, well, hopefully, when it grows to a level, sponsors will recognize and say, okay, this have some, some substance, and we really need to tap into it.
Yeah, man.
But again, how sponsors does go.
Business boy.
We're not sitting around and wait for them to be a part of it.
You had to use take lime and make lime juice, boy.
Exactly. We're not gonna sit around and say, boy, this can't happen without sponsors. Nah.
No.
This is what we're doing for us and for the generation that will come after we. You know what I mean? So that because we never had it before. So we had to create what we never had before,
Yeah, man, definitely.
So again, Shady boy, you don't know the thing go. Again, thank you for coming on. Investing your time in sharing the wealth and knowledge that you have.
Yeah,
and in the future going forward.
We're good enough, man. We are good enough business relationship and thing, and as brethren and thing that go way back when.
Yeah, man.
I
get keyboard drawing
real
soon.
I was actually asking him today. I was actually asking Drew today if he scheduled his own yet. But I mean, I guess
he coming on, man. You coming on.
Yeah, man.
You have to be on because when I started, that is somebody that had a role to play in me actually reaching a level in my career,
Yeah, man.
Agent Bailey and Junior, Mark Cyrus, Basic. Basic is a kind of shy man too. He want to come on camera, but you know what I mean.
We're going to have Basic. Basic is a big cameraman and straight camera.
Well, yeah, you don't know Basic is already. He could come on. He had to come on because he had to share the journey. I had to ask him what was it that he saw because at the time I didn't see it.
Yeah, half of the time people don't see it. Like
sometimes people had to see that thing in you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because I don't think I would have actually went forward with it if he didn't see it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Serious.
So we just wanna recognize the people and them who really making that contribution, So big up yourself again, Shady, till we link up again.
Yes, I man.
All right. This has been another Vstream. We've been talking to producer, musician, audio engineer, and sometimes he's a comedian too. If you go on his if you go on his Instagram, you must get a laugh.
Boy, yeah.
Hey.
You had to have a life.
No, in this business, you had to laugh plenty, bro.
You had to have a sense of humor, man.
You must have a sense of humor.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, again, Shady, all the best for the future, and until we link up again.
Yes, I, my brother.
Bless.
Yes, I.
Yeah, so, what we looking at, boy? Around the same time. Yeah, man. It was a good look. Yo, we want to thank everybody who stayed up with us late. This has been another Vstream platform. Episode 3, we was talking with producer, musician, audio engineer, my good friend from way back when, Shady, Mr. Kevin Sardine. All right, so until we see again next episode, stay tuned to see who I'm going to have as my next guest. And again, continue to support Vstream platform. So many ways you can support, just simply by sharing the videos, sharing the podcast, commenting, like the video as well. And don't forget, artists, you could send your music to vstreamplatform@gmail.com. All right, if you got any new releases, this is a platform for our creatives, Vincentian creatives. So feel free to send me your material, send me your music if you want your music reviewed. If you need any kind of any kind of reviews or advice musically, we could help with that. All right, don't be shy, don't be a stranger. This is our platform, Vstream platform. So until next time, Galaxy by Far, I've been your host here for the past few hours. Have a safe and productive day.